down and 2. Becton. That's going to be very close. He needed to get inside the 10, Dick.
Stacy Yop, the defensive tackle, stunted outside and beat the block, forced him back inside. Good move by Stacy Yop.
Yop's the biggest man on that defensive front for Navy. 6'1" and 275-pound senior from Weirsdale, Florida. Came into this game with 37 tackles and a couple of sacks. And now Notre Dame with a 4th and 1. And so far this year, they're 6 of 10 in 4th down situations. And they'll line up in a full house backfield.
This is when they bring their free safety, Jeff Burris, Roger, in at the left halfback position.
That's Burris, number 9. Edwards is 30 and Lytle 7. And a whistle. Flags go down. And did Notre Dame take too much time?
Too much time. He may now change and kick the field goal.
Yes, it is. It's against Notre Dame.
I see Pendergrass coming on to kick the field goal.
And Holtz having a few words with his quarterback, Kevin McDougal. Holtz will get after his players, won't he, Dick?
Oh, you bet. I really enjoyed spending the day at Notre Dame on Tuesday and watching him coach. It was a double practice session, Raj, because they didn't have any classes that week. It was a mid-semester break.
32-yarder for Pendergast. He's 2 of 5 from 30 to 39 yards this year, and that's good. So we've had a couple of field goals in the first quarter from Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. Navy and Notre Dame, they're tied at 3. On his left knee there.
You know, I had a chance to visit with him yesterday and ask him about what he wants to do when he gets out of the academy in regards to military obligations. He said he has been turned down in everything he wants to do because he has an astigmatism
in his left eye.
In his left eye, and there's not much left he can do. I said, well, they let you play football, don't they?
He says he doesn't want to get on a ship.
No.
he said, I'll take supply. He says, I don't want to get on a ship. 2nd and 10. That's Jimmy Screen in motion. Quick drop. They'll throw it far, very close to the first down inside the 40. Looks like he's got enough. Greg Lane, 33, and Justin Coheen, 54, in on the tackle.
You can look for Rick Minter, the defensive coordinator for Notre Dame, to tighten up the coverages and use some blitzes. He will blitz people, but he doesn't like to, but they will do it, and they will use 5-man rushes and some maximum 8-man rushes as well.
1st and 10, 39-yard line.
Go, Greg Lane.
And the slip, you can see right on that seam there, the ball carrier, Billy James. And a loss of about a yard on the play. Well, tonight, a special Halloween treat. The Olsen twins from Full House star in their brand new holiday movie, Double Double, Toil and Trouble, with Meshack Taylor and Cloris Leachman. Then the premiere of the new Paula Poundstone show, all tonight, here on ABC. 2nd down and 11, upcoming for the Navy. 4 and 3 on the year, and they need to win the rest of their games if they hope to go to the Liberty Bowl. That includes beating Notre Dame today. Down, interference. That should be a flag, and they get it. The intended receiver was Jimmy Screen, and Jeff Burris just pulled him down from the back of his shoulder pads, and that's pass interference against Notre Dame.
Well, they came with a 5-man rush and went man-to-man coverage on that. You'll see this right in the middle of the screen. Number 9, Jeff Burris, appearing from the left-hand corner. Now see him right there. He gets him hooked right there. Gets him down. Good call. A little anxious. Jeff Burris is just an outstanding football player. In fact, Coach Holtz told me the other day, we were riding around in his golf cart during the morning practice. He says, I don't know if I've ever coached a better all-around football player. He said, plus, he might be my best tailback.
Well, he's run for a couple of touchdowns this year. He plays on some special teams. Does a little bit of everything for Notre Dame.
1 punt return for 60 yards.
1st and 10, 32-yard line. Kubiak to Van Meter. And Van Meter might get a yard. Or possibly just back to the line of scrimmage. Sean Wooden, 22, the junior from Willow Grove, Pennsylvania. And right now, let's go to Jackaroo. Jack.
Well, Roger, you and Dick Vermeil were wondering just what the emotional content on the sidelines for George Champ's midshipmen would be. I've been over here, and they are just literally higher than a kite. very reminiscent. They say never better. They're screaming encouragement to their fellow classmates out on the field. They really feel, as you know, Dick Vermeil, that they had a legitimate chance to win this game. So far, they're still in the hunt with one of the top teams in the country.
2nd down and 9, 31-yard line. Play action. Kubiak going deep's got a man open. Touchdown! Damon Dixon! On the touchdown pass from Kubiak to Dixon. As Buccineri comes on to attempt the point after, and it's good. Navy has taken the lead over Notre Dame. 10-3. 3:08 to go. First quarter from Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia.
Driver, do you have any Bud Light in your vehicle?
Yes.
And I am Mr. Gallywikich.
You mean Dr. Galakowicz?
Yes, I am. This is so cool.
First time in a limo? Doctor?
In a limo this small.
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Anyone can see that the new GE Profile Radiant Convection range is easy to clean, but the real technological advantage is what you can't see. So we'll show it to you in a roundabout way. Introducing the first GE range that circulates hot air all around your food, roasting meats up to 30% faster, so they get done to a turn on the outside while staying tender and juicy on the inside. Why does GE offer such an ingenious way to cook? Because we know how much of life revolves around dinner.
So, where's the boss today?
Picked up his new car.
What'd he get? The BMW? The Lexus?
Neither. He got the Bonneville.
Really?
Said it had anti-lock brakes, leather, dual airbags. Said with all that and the way it drives, he couldn't see spending 10 to 20 grand more.
He likes bargains.
He likes cars.
You'll see the play action pass here now, freezing the linebackers up in front. And also now watch the quarterback as he looks over here to his left, now comes back. And the defenders on the backside, left side right here, lost the receiver coming down. They lost the guy. He's only 5'8".
180 pounds, Damon Dixon. From Orinda, California. Yeah, woohoo, you bet. The kickoff by Tate, the low squibber taken by an up man for Notre Dame to the 35-yard line. And that was number 30, Mark Edwards. Well, folks, it's been a long time since Navy has beaten Notre Dame. November 2nd, 1963. At Notre Dame, Roger Staubach was the Navy quarterback. Navy was ranked 4th in the country that year. They finished with a 9-2 record. And 35-14 was the final score. As we return to action here, McDougal trying to go downfield. Pass broken up, nearly intercepted. Nearly picked up by Joe Speed. And right now, let's go to John Saunders in New York. John?
Roger, Temple at Miami. Watch Ryan Collins' little naked bootleg here, going nowhere but the pump fake. Freezes the linebacker. He dives into the end zone for the touchdown. They lead 7-0. Roger, back to you.
Back in '63, that Notre Dame team only finished up with a 2-7 record. A bigger win for Navy that year might have been against Army right here in Philadelphia, where they beat them 21-15, and Army had the ball with time running out on Navy's 2-yard line, and Navy held on. They eventually went to the Cotton Bowl as Becton's got the first down across the 45 to the 46-yard line. Riggins 42 and Speed 13 were there to make the tackle.
You know, they don't throw the ball very much, Notre Dame doesn't, but when they do, they're so efficient. They average 10.7 yards a pass attempt, 16 yards per pass completion. They use the running game to get the 5- and 6-yard gains, and they go downfield deep like they just did against that double zone that was defended so nicely just a minute ago, Raj. But you can look for them to stay with that philosophy through this 4 quarters.
2:34 to go first quarter. 1st and 10, 47-yard line. Becton on the pitch. Becton with room. Becton inside the 40, down to the 37-yard line. Lee Becton, a 6-foot, 190-pound junior from Notre, North Carolina. Javier Zulaga in on the tackle.
This offensive line is not only big and powerful as they come off the ball, Roger, they're also outstanding students. The center, Tim Ruddy, 4.0 last spring. Zadovetsky, 3.5. Leahy, who's not playing right now, 3.2. Norman, the right tackle, 3.0. All very smart football players.
8 of the top 11 Irish students on the football team are offensive linemen. McDougal on the option on 1st and 10. And he is dragged down at the 35-yard line. Andy Person, the sophomore from Havertown, Pennsylvania. Both of these teams, Dick, with a lot of players from Pennsylvania. Each squad with over 25 players from the state of Pennsylvania.
Well, Andy Pearson went to high school at Episcopal Academy right over here on the suburbs of Philadelphia.
He was first team All-Philadelphia in 1990 there. Becton, 11 carries, 75 yards so far. Minute and a half to go. First quarter, 2nd down and 6. Coming out there, tight end, Kriplevich, 98. And we've seen some mistakes by Notre Dame, and it's been costly to them today.
What happened is Navy changed the defense and started to blitz and get up in a position to blitz, and that made Kriplevich flinch.
Now, you said when a player fumbles the ball, Lou Holtz brings him out. What about a mistake like that? Will another tight end go in? Yes. Oscar McBride, number 80, has just gone into the game.
I tell you, they coach every snap of the practice field the same way. You make a mistake, you pay for the price right then.
That makes it 2nd down and 11 at the 39-yard line. Both wide receivers split to the top of your screen for the Fighting Irish. McDougal will throw over there. The catch made by Lake Dawson. He eludes one tackler, and Dawson out at the 20-yard line. Good move there by Lake Dawson.
Lake Dawson is an excellent athlete. Watching him on the practice field, you know, in this kind of offense, he doesn't touch the football that much. He's caught 15 balls this year, hasn't scored a touchdown. But when he touches the ball, he has the ability to go ahead and put it in the end zone. He has the ability, as he demonstrated there, to make you miss.
What did he say? He's learned how to become a good blocker at Notre Dame. He knew how to catch the ball when he got there. 1st and 10 right at the 20. 3 wide receivers for the Fighting Irish as they'll give it to Edwards, the first man through, and might have gotten a yard.
Look for Notre Dame now, with Skip Holtz calling the plays, to come outside with their option down here, hoping to get man-to-man coverage, run the defenders off, block guy that's supposed to get to the pitch man, and run it in. That's what they'd like to do.
Tomorrow, defending champion Paul Aziger joins the PGA Tour's top 30 money winners in the final round of golf's richest event. It's the Tour Championship here on ABC Sports, 3 Eastern, 2 Central, and Pacific time. Final round coverage. 2nd and 10. Less than 30 seconds to go, first quarter.
Here comes the blitz.
McDougal gets the pitch back to Becton. And Becton inside the 5, down to the 3.
That's exactly what they said would happen. They wanted him to blitz down here, get him in man-to-man coverage, because when you're in man-to-man coverage and the receivers run off, the defenders have to stay with him. Now he's going to run the option fake inside, freeze the linebackers, come down and gets it, has forced to pitch it quickly. Now see, a down lineman or a linebacker has to catch this guy from behind. The rest of the people, because they're in man-to-man, are forced to play pass.
Lee Becton, 12 carries, 92 yards, and a whistle down on the field. The officials trying to get the attention of the clock operator. Becton had a career high 177 yards last week against Southern Cal on 20 carries, and he's had 3 100-plus yard games in a row. As time has expired in the first quarter from Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, and Navy leads the 2nd-ranked team in the nation, Notre Dame, 10-3.
What do you mean I can't do that?
Please, don't pull that on me now.
I'm pressing enter.
You're the computer. You tell me where the file is.
Huh?
Don't just sit there blinking.
Enter. I'm gonna give this to you.
but I want it back.
The idea of talking to a computer is certainly not a new one.
Open status report.
Getting a response certainly is. The new Desk Pro with business audio from Compaq.
Lasers. Satellites. Cellular data networks. What exactly have we launched here? UPS Total Track. The only tracking system that can confirm delivery of your air and designated ground packages coast to coast in seconds.
Package was signed for at 9:26 this morning by Mr.
The arms race may be over, but the package race is just heating up.
This is a Goodyear Aquatread, and this is a gallon of water. Aquatread's deep groove design channels water away. At highway speeds, it moves a gallon of water every second for outstanding wet traction. Aquatread, only from Goodyear.
Hitachi. Oh, wait, that's my phone.
I'll connect you now.
Bonjour, here are the drawings. Looks good from here.
Hello.
Okay, thanks.
Goodbye. Take care.
Au revoir.
Hitachi makes digital communication systems and 20,000 other amazing products. Hitachi.
Ben and Connie Studebaker look at things differently since they became parents. I'm Roger Cruel. I'm their State Farm agent. Having a family brought a lot of changes in their lives, so we thought it was a good idea to sit down and have a family insurance checkup. We started by adding to their life insurance protection. Then we went over all their family insurance to help make sure their coverage was up to date. After all, you never know what could happen.
And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Shelley Fabre and Coach Hayden Fry discuss women in sports.
Coach, don't you think it's time for women to be more involved in college sports?
Definitely. Both men and women gain from athletics.
Well, that's nice to say, but women don't play your sport.
Well, actually, women do play key roles like managers and trainers, and college football frequently helps finance other men's and women's sports on campus.
I say that's something we can all cheer for.
Enjoy college football, more than a game.
Navy has not beaten a top 20 team since 1984 when they beat South Carolina 38-21. They lead Notre Dame 10-3 as we start the second quarter on 1st and goal from the 3. And for the 6th time this year, freshman Mark Edwards goes into the end zone for a touchdown.
Real good lead block there by, again, that's free safety, which is a unique situation. Your free safety, your lead blocker, Jeff Burris, goes in and blocks the linebacker and allows him to slide into the end zone for the touchdown. See him right here. Now there's Burris there, gets the key block. Look at that hole, Rod. You could run through that.
You bet I could. I could have stumbled through that. Pendergast to attempt the point after. 30 of 32 this year, and he drives it through, and we're tied up. As we just started the second quarter, Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, Notre Dame and Navy tied up at 10.
I was ice fishing when my Chevy fell through the ice. We hauled it out, full of water, frozen solid. I changed the plugs, the fluids. It started right up. That was 100,000 miles ago.
Man, you think that's something. One night in 1980, a friend and myself were looking for a hunting spot. We missed a turn and actually went into a canal. You could see the headlights shining underwater with fish going by. Slammed in reverse and backed right out. The truck never missed a beat.
Chevy, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
Highway 421 near Spivey's Corner, North Carolina. Not exactly the place you expect to find a busy accounting firm like Duval & Dean. But thanks to Sprint Cellular and their car, Duval & Dean can handle clients clear across the state and still be there to take calls no matter where they are. There's one other advantage to doing business at 55 miles per hour. There's no fighting over who gets the window office.
Elvira here, Mistress of the Dark and sometimes Surfer Babe, because Coors Light is the official beer of Halloween, and the party's at the beach, Malibu Beach, where you can hang 10. Look, Frankie and Annette. And of course, when it's time to chill, just reach for that cooler of Coors Light. Aged ice cold, never frozen stiff. It's the right beer now for Halloween. Just look for the silver bullet smooth display and dig up your friends now for a party at the beach. Happy Halloween, dudes.
They've beaten the Cowboys and the Giants. Now the Buffalo Bills look for a sweep of Super Bowl revenge when they meet the Washington Redskins. Monday night on ABC Sports.
Welcome back to the Vet in Philadelphia. And Dick, both teams doing so far what they do well.
Well, they're both coaches taking advantage of the kind of players they have. Navy, they're not big, strong kids, so they use the finesse passing game, and they get the ball out there in the flats and the wide areas and run upfield. Notre Dame, physical, strong, doing what they do best, whipping you physically, coming off the ball with a running game.
Short kick. Billy James takes it. And James to the 34-yard line. And let's go to New York and check in with John Saunders. John?
Roger, Temple trying to do against Miami what Syracuse couldn't last week. Raphael Mack takes the handoff and then on the reverse gives it to Lou Lawhorn. And he sees daylight. Good speed to the end zone. It's a touchdown. Tied 7-7. Roger, back to you.
Thanks, John. Well, excitement down in Miami. Tie game there, tie game here. 14:51 to go. First half. Jimmy screens the motion man. On 1st and 10, play action by Kubiak. The tight end, Hickman, loses the football as he took a shot and a penalty marker down.
Did he ever take a shot?
Bobby Taylor, 21, was the man that hit him.
Oh, man. Bobby Taylor can really play as a corner. I mean, a great cover guy, great athlete. He'll man downfield.
Penalty against Notre Dame.
Oh, excuse me.
Penalty against Notre Dame, so penalties of
illegal participation.
Illegal participation on the defense. 15 yards, previous spot, first down.
Joe Shirk, the referee, making the call. So penalties have really bothered Notre Dame today and given Navy several good opportunities.
Navy's going to need some of these kind of things to keep this game that close. Because as physical as Notre Dame is, it gradually wears you down. And it takes them a little longer to score, too, and wears your defense down all that more.
Last week against Louisville, Navy had 356 yards total offense, but couldn't put a point on the board. They've got 10 so far today on 1st and 10 from the 49, and they'll run it. The ball carrier there, Cleavon Smith, a 5'11", 220-pound senior from Baldwin, Mississippi, who's only carried the ball 11 times this year. And he likes playing on the artificial turf because he's got allergies. He's allergic to grass, especially freshly cut grass. So this will be a good opportunity for him today.
Well, I'll tell you this. He doesn't want another opportunity to run at Bryant Young. I'll tell you that. Boy, did he come off the ball and stuff the offensive lineman and make that play.
Well, Dick, Notre Dame has kept 7 opponents under 100 yards rushing this year. Michigan, the only one to top the century mark. And they've done it in 12 of the last 15 games they've played. On 2nd and 9. Kubiak on the run, throwing to Dixon on the far side, and a lot of pressure that time. Jim Flanagan, 44 in there, and also 90, Brian Hamilton.
Jimmy Flanagan, the defensive right tackle, get good penetration, good quickness in there, and force the quarterback out of rhythm in his throw. Couldn't set up and throw that accurately. Boy, when you get penetration to the right side of your screen, right middle, you'll see number 44, Flanagan. He beats the guard underneath. He beats McMeekin underneath, gets the penetration, then he gets some help from the rest of the defense, forces a poor throw.
3rd down and 9. Navy 34% on 3rd down situations this year. They're right at midfield. Short drop by Kubiak, going to his tight end. That's the 3rd drop ball by an open Navy receiver. That was Kevin Hickman. And right now, let's go to New York and check in with John Saunders. John?
Roger, sloppy at Florida and Georgia as well. You're on the natural grass, though. It's a mess. Eric Rett finds his way 9 yards, just gets into the corner. His 7th rushing touchdown of the year is 13-3. Roger.
That'll bring up a punting situation. Brian Schrum back at the 35, and it's blocked. For Notre Dame, it appeared to be Greg Lane, number 33. He was one of the front men in there.
There was a number of people in there. You talk about a turnover now. You have 1st down on the 33-yard line. That's a short field. Blocking the punt. A disastrous play offensively. Boy, if you want to win the football game, you get a punt block. Your chances of getting it done are not very good.
That was 33.
33 was in there. Yes, Greg Lane, 24 was also in there.
So Notre Dame, 1st and 10, 33-yard line. They'll pitch it to Becton, and he is stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Shane Halloran, the junior from Middletown, Rhode Island, made the stop. And a very wet Jack Aroots down there. Jack.
Well, Roger, some injury, bad news injury-wise for them, for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Behind me is Derek Mays. During that last series, he came out of the game with a severely sprained set of ligaments on his right ankle. And talking to Dr. Will Yergler, he said he is out for the day.
Well, that's one thing they didn't want to have happen today, is lose, a quality football player.
Well, he's their leading receiver this year. On 2nd and 13. I don't know what happened there. Kriplevich never looked back. He was still streaking down the sideline, and that ball could have been picked off. Stephen Lipsy, 35, was right there.
Stephen Lipsy, 35, covering, as you said, at 5'10", covering a tight end at 6'6", running down the sideline. Boy, it looked like a mismatch.
Dick, the tight ends have only caught 6 passes for Notre Dame this year. They're not used to looking for the football.
I'll tell you this, though, on the practice field, they work hard on the passing game, and Lou says we just don't use it very much. But they do coach it.
3rd down and 13 for Notre Dame. Sacked. He is nailed by Chris Regard, a junior from Belleville, Illinois. His first sack of the year, 9 yards on the loss.
His first sack, and what a time to get it, boy. See, McDougal looking left, not seeing him coming from the backside. I had actually made a mistake in the pass protection pickup. They were sliding the protection to the right and did not pick him up properly. Ruddy slid over to him, number 61 slid to him, but didn't pick him up. McDougal looking left, wham, sack.
Adrian Gerald to punt it, just his 2nd punt of the year, and that's nearly blocked. A Navy man ran into Gerald, but no flag is thrown.
The thing is, to get a punt block and then defensively go on the field and shut down the offense and get the ball back, great series of defense.
Absolutely. Notre Dame and Navy tied at 10.
I don't say this to many people, but the job we do is the most important job I can think of.
Okay, guys, listen up.
I mean, there's no such thing as a B+ mechanic on this airline.
Let's do it. Let's go.
Even the most junior mechanic can keep an airplane in this hangar if there's a hint of a problem. You might think a job like this would become routine, but every now and then, I just take a walk through the terminal, and right there, you see what's important.
When most manufacturers develop a new truck, they start with a model. Good idea. Here's ours. Introducing the first and only family of trucks designed from the inside out. A design that starts with you and has become the all-new Chevy S-Series. Everything else is history.
Start saving $300 a month when you're 23, and you could retire a millionaire. Start at 30, and you might reach $600,000. At 40, about $200,000. Which is why you need Prudential's Financial Assessment Program. A personalized computer analysis of where you are, where you want to go, and how we can help. Because nobody plans to fail. They just fail to plan. Call Prudential Insurance now.
At the conclusion of today's game, elected a Chevrolet Most Valuable Player of the Game from each team, and for the 23rd year through the Chevrolet Scholarship Program, $1,000 will be donated to the General Scholarship Fund of each school. In case of a tie, I'll defer to our birthday boy here today, Dick Vermeil. Dick, happy birthday to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Getting old, getting old.
Oh, no. Great defensive series by Navy as they take over 1st and 10 from the 22-yard line after that 21-yard punt by Gerald. And going right to the air and wide open is Van Meter. And he gets it to the 30, gain of 7.
Talk about throwing the ball under duress. I don't know how Kubiak got rid of that football. You'll see there's 2 people right in his face on this coming to the end zone. There he is right in the middle of your screen. They run a stunt to the right side. It's picked up properly. Here it comes around. Now see the stunt to the left side to get penetration. Now look at, he's got 2 people right in his face knocking him back, and he still completes the pass. Nice job by Kubiak.
Kubiak's been sacked 17 times this year.
Wham!
See the pressure there. 2nd down and 2. Kubiak. Intended for Michael Jefferson. He's only 5 feet 6 inches tall, 179 pounds. We asked him the other day at practice that, hey, we hear you're a 4'2" guy. He says 4.28.
Actually, you know, it's really good that Kubiak threw that ball too high, because I think Pete Burchich was in line to pick that thing off. It was thrown lower. He was moving toward, he was upset that it was thrown so high.
Every completion Kubiak throws and yarding gains passing for the rest of the season sets a new Navy record on 3rd down and 2 from the 30-yard line. Down the middle, Jefferson's got it. Look at Jefferson go. Still on his feet. Jefferson to the 35-yard line. Big play for the Naval Academy by Mike Jefferson. 35 yards on the pickup.
He has that great quickness. He's the 55-meter champion at the Naval Academy on the track team. And they threw the underneath crossing pattern against the zone coverage, you know, and he spurts in between those zones. You'll see him passing in your screen there from right to left. See, the zone coverages are dropping off. See him right there. He avoids Burchich in the middle of the screen. Nice throw. Good anticipation by Kubiak. Now watch him make a miss there. Plus, the artificial turf is a little bit slippery. Hard to get your footing.
1st and 10, 35-yard line. Van Meter up the middle. Van Meter, 1st down. Van Meter all the way to the 21-yard line. Good blocking up front by Navy. McMeekin 61, Sokol 68, and Puglia 64.
See, they have Notre Dame defensive line thinking rush the passer right now. So what did they do? They came with a draw play. Got the rush upfield. See, got Bryant turned right there. Hits that gap nicely. Up the field. Move the chains.
Navy plays Dick on the artificial surface 6 times this year. This is the only time for Notre Dame.
Big advantage.
1st and 10, 21-yard line. Stramanek, the lone setback. That's Mill in motion. Kubiak going deep. The intended receiver, Kevin Hickman, is tied in from just across the bridge in Cherry Hill, New Jersey.
I know it. There was another guy across the line of scrimmage, not cross the bridge that time, and that was Bryant Young again. I can't say enough good things about this guy. He came into the ball game with 19.5 tackles for loss, 16 career sacks. Outstanding football player, demonstrating it here today.
Young, 6'3" and 277 from Chicago Heights, Illinois.
Probably a 1st-round draft choice.
I think so.
Oh, yeah.
Best defensive lineman you've seen this year?
No. But Danny Wilkerson, Ohio State.
2nd and 10. 10:47 to go, 1st half. Kubiak got his receiver. Number 80, Jimmy Screen, inside the 10 at the 8-yard line. Burris, Lane make the tackle, and the Navy moving against Notre Dame.
Again, finesse football. Now they got him back in the man-to-man coverage. He runs a little slant there. I think if they're down inside the 20, if you're going to play man, you'll see Notre Dame tighten up that man-to-man coverage. At least it looked like man from here.
Notre Dame 9th in the nation in total defense. As Navy will take it, 1st and goal from the 7-yard line. There's Kubiak, 9 of 15. He's completing 64% of his passes on the year. Van Meter to the 1. Pete Burchich made the tackle.
Right here, you got some very, very motivated young men believing they have a chance to win all week in preparation. They do real well in that opening drive, get the field goal, then they hit the touchdown pass. Now they smell that end zone, and the belief and the confidence that they can play with these people is starting to overpower them. They're really getting after it.
28, Monty Williams is checked into the game. 2nd and goal from the 1. Stramanek, touchdown! A senior from Johnstown, Pennsylvania, his 9th rushing touchdown of the year. Cuccineri to attempt the point after. It's good. And 9:36 to go. 1st half from Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. Navy leads Notre Dame 17-10. And what a a scene over on the Navy sideline.
You know, and milling around the academy on Thursday, being there all day with you, Raj, what did they say? We are trained to handle adversity. That's our education. We're going into an adverse situation on Saturday, and we believe we're prepared to handle it, and they're doing a good job with it right now.
Stramanak missed all of 92 and 5 games of 91 because of surgery for an anterior cruciate ligament tear in his right knee. And the other thing, Dick, as we mentioned at the top, the uniforms between these two teams very similar. Gold pants, gold helmets. The colors of the jerseys are different today. And I said, well, maybe the other difference is the size of the jerseys for Notre Dame. But you can't look inside the jersey for the size of the heart.
Well, no question, but I guarantee you this. When things like this happen, all it does then is re-motivate the Notre Dame guy, the bigger guy in the jerseys. He, too, has a big heart. That's why he's undefeated. So this game is a long ways from over.
The last time Navy played Notre Dame in Philadelphia, Ara Parseghian in his final year as head coach in 1974. And Navy led that game 6-0 at the start of the fourth quarter before losing. So they've got some fond memories of this stadium and this city, as at the 25-yard line, Jeff Burris makes the stop. And let's go to Jackaroo.
Roger, you're talking about that 1974 game. Well, the guy that kept the Navy midshipmen into it until the end was a punter by the name of John Stufflebeam. He's now a commander in the Navy and leads a fighter squadron with the call sign, the Jolly Rogers. But the thing that's most important about it is he kicked 11 times for a 48-yard average, and Ara Parseghian said on the way home he made up his mind on the plane to get out of coaching because of Stufflebeam and that persistent Navy team.
Thanks, Jack. Becton, the ball carrier, and he is tackled at the 27-yard line by Shane Halloran, who came into this game with 60 tackles on the year, 6'2" and 230 from Middletown, Rhode Island.
Dennis Murphy, the defensive coordinator, is mixing up those defensive fronts, not playing one defensive front more than one time in a row and switching to the next one, then showing one and shifting out of it.
This is a problem. Much improved defense from last year, Dick. They ranked 81st in the nation in total defense last year. They're 33rd this year. They've made great strides on 2nd down and 8 from the 28-yard line. McDougal to throw it, nearly picked off. Lipsy, 35. The senior from Savannah had it and dropped it. Let's send you to New York and John Saunders. John.
Roger, Florida and Georgia. Eric Zier on the 2. Hooks up with Bryce Hunter. 8th time they've gotten together this year for that pass for Zier. His 19th of the year. It's 13-10 Florida. Roger.
Thanks, John. We've got some excited midshipmen here in Philadelphia. 3rd down and 8 for Notre Dame. 28-yard line. 8:48 to go. First half. Notre Dame trails Navy. McDougal down the middle. And the catch made and across the 40, Oscar McBride, the backup tight end, just his 4th reception of the year. Last year he led Notre Dame with 4 touchdown catches.
Well, he's actually been beaten out this year by a person a little more physical in the running game and blocking. So they put him in there in that 3rd down situation, let him work in between the linebackers for the 1st down.
1st and 10, 41-yard line. Becton again. Becton brought down at the 46, and a good tackle made by Javier Zuluaga.
Zuluaga. His mom asked me to make sure I say it right this year. Got after me a little bit. I had a hard time with it last year. Yeah. The more excited I got last year in the Army-Navy game, the tougher I had time.
Nice kid. We had a chance to talk to him yesterday. His family's from Bogota, Colombia.
He doesn't like ships either.
No, he doesn't. He wants to stay on the ground. Zuluaga's been in double figures in tackles 15 of his last 18 games, and last year was 15th in the nation in tackles made, as Becton will get the 1st down, just power blocking, running into Navy territory to the 46-yard line on a 2nd and 4. So a Notre Dame 1st down with 7:43 to go, first half.
You mentioned power blocking. Zuluaga got lined up there at 6'1", 230 in front of one of those big guys and got knocked back pretty good. You know, you've got to get your pads down low if you're going to take on big people. Here he is right now. So he's going to step up in there, and wham! There's Will Lyle, number 74. Just stick and stay. Stick and stay. See, that's a physical mismatch.
Becton, 16 carries, 105 yards, 4 straight games now. He's been over 100 yards. as he gets it again. He's tackled for a loss. 3-yard loss. Shane Halloran again.
He scraped off that time. What I mean by scraping off is he read the flow of the play and then shot the gap with the flow. If the play had gone the other way, he'd have done the same thing going the other way.
Dick, all the years you coached, were you ever in a similar situation in college or pro as Navy is today, as underdog by 35 points? Yeah.
Not so much at UCLA, because I had good football players there. The first couple of years at the Eagles, I felt like that, you know, every weekend.
Second and 12 from the 47. Trips to the far side for Notre Dame. McDougal throws it in between 3 men and a first down at the 33-yard line. The catch made over there by Lee Becton, and let's go to Jackaroo. Jack?
Roger, despite this good drive, thus far you would have to characterize the sidelines for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish as shell-shocked. One of the people that is associated with Notre Dame just told me a couple of seconds ago, that's when Coach Lou Holtz rises to the occasion. And to quote him, what he said was, now Lou's going to have to coach for the win.
Hey, Jack, get a hat or an umbrella, will you? You're getting too wet. First and 10, 32-yard line. McDougal trying to run the option, pitches it back, fumble. Covered up by Becton at the 45. Andy Person was the man that was causing all the trouble for Navy.
See, there's an example of trying to get something out of nothing. He would have been better off, just like a quarterback, under pressure, passing the football. If you got to take the sack, take the sack. Don't throw it where they can intercept it. Here he's got to make the pitch. Don't make the pitch. It's going to be a wild pitch. Just sit on the ball. You'll see Pearson right in. They ran a stunt right in there. And there's Pearson, number 57, get in. Now he's still going to try to pitch the ball. Bad decision.
They lose 15 yards, and it's second and 25. Less than 6 minutes to go, first half. Play action by McDougal. Got a man open down the middle, and at the 28-yard line, the catch made by Mike Miller, the junior from Missouri City, Texas. John Wellington was there on the coverage.
Well, you know, Coach Holtz told me the reason they use play action in a lot of long yardage situations is to get 2 backs blocking on the one side, to give them time to allow slot receivers. This kind of combination takes time. See him going deep and folding and sitting in that zone. Right, those linebackers were frozen with that play action. That takes time. But using the 2 backs to the side like that gives him 4 blockers.
That brings up a 3rd down and 6. At the 28. They'll swing it to Edwards. Drops the football.
Steve Lipsy really made a nice play there, Roger. If he'd have, when watching the ball rather than the receiver, he might have been able to adjust and pick it off. Nice play by Lipsy.
Lipsy's a 5'10", 185-pound senior. What's the anchor back? They call him the anchor.
He's a combination strong safety, defensive end. He was a strong safety by title last year.
Dick, Notre Dame's going to go for it on 4th and 6th. They're 7 of 11 in 4th down situations this year. Starting to rain harder. The wind starting to blow harder. Less than 5 minutes to go, first half. McDougal, pass caught and slips at the 11-yard line. Lake Dawson. John Wellington there to make the tackle. 17 yards on the pickup.
See, they went into a double zone where they roll up and play him short. He burst underneath that with the slant. Good job by McDougal of getting him the ball on time. Then he demonstrated his running ability. If he hadn't slipped, he'd have put it in the end zone.
Let's go down to Jackaroo. Jack?
Well, Roger, you're talking about slipping. Coach Vermeil did. Take a look at the way the weather is starting to create the puddles out here. That's why these guys are having real tough times in terms of footing.
1st and 10 from the 11-yard line, and you see the slip right there by Lee Becton. Gets maybe a yard.
You know, they're trying to run over there at the right side now behind Todd Norman, big number 66. He, from the first time I saw him play prior to the Purdue game to now, he has really improved. He's really becoming a good offensive lineman.
Norman 66, a 6'6", 297-pound senior from Huntington Beach, California.
Yeah, I lived out there myself one time.
2nd and 9 from the 10-yard line. Edwards, look at the big man run, touchdown! Second touchdown today for the freshman from Norwood, Ohio.
Lou Holtz said that he, Mark Edwards, and Robert Farmer, 2 freshmen, are the 2 best freshman backs he's had in a long time. Right here, Edwards making that statement. true, just power running, just banging it in there. Out of Ohio. How did Ohio State ever let him get out of there?
The point after by Pendergast, and with 3:59 to go, first half from the vet in Philadelphia. Notre Dame and Navy are tied at 17.
2 summers, 2 winters, 2 springs, 2 falls. All this, just $2.99 a month. The S-Blazer 2-year lease. Why drive an imitation when you can drive the vehicle that originated the species? Chevy S-Blazer.
Teamwork and discipline are principles I learned playing football, and these same qualities, coupled with high standards, are needed in the classroom. The Promise of Tomorrow scholarship program helps students in college football to pursue a teaching career. We need to encourage dedicated young people to become teachers, because quality teachers are vital to America's future.
Hitachi and the CFA, partners in the Hitachi Promise of Tomorrow program.
This is not a typical university. You want more than that. We're the United States Naval Academy. Your future starts here.
Welcome back here to Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. Along with Jack Arute, Dick Vermeil, I'm Roger Twivell. Glad you can be with us in what is turning out to be an exciting football game. You see Notre Dame opponents with a combined record of 26-37. And 5 opponents, an average of 4 wins each.
Remember, though, part of the reason they have those 37 losses is they played Notre Dame.
That's true.
He's beaten them. They've contributed to that record.
Pendergast to kick it off, and it's a low squib kick for Navy, and up back Lionel Hines, number 29, will take it, and he slips down at the 34-yard line. And it's time once again for our Coors Light fan picks college football poll. Just call 1-800-932-3000 to vote. Once again, Florida State is on top of that poll with Notre Dame number 2. Well, earlier this year, Navy broke an 11-game losing streak against Air Force. Can they break a 29-game losing streak to Notre Dame? They are right in this football game, folks. Tied at 17 with 3:53 to go. First half. 35-point underdogs. You see Kubiak slip right there. He gets it to Damon Dixon. Gain of about 4, and let's go to John Saunders in New York. John?
Roger, they're at it again between Florida and Georgia. High-scoring affair. Eric Desire, a little shovel pass to Shannon Mitchell. He does the work to the end zone, and Georgia now has the lead, 17-13. Roger.
Thanks, John. Well, it's raining down in Florida. It's raining here. It's snowing in other parts of the country. Glad you can be with us here. This is an exciting football game. Navy and Notre Dame, 2nd and 7 for the Midshipmen at the 38-yard line. The handoff right up the middle, going nowhere is Billy James. He was stuck by Jim Flanagan, the senior from Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin.
Oh, did he stuff him? He really stuffed. Now watch Flanagan just surge. He comes off the ball real well, obviously getting pretty good traction right in the middle of your screen, right above the ball. There he goes. Boom, he gets knocking people back there. You'll see that gold helmet appear. Wham, it's like running into a gate.
How good,
all have gold helmets on, don't they?
How good was Flanagan in high school? 59 touchdowns, 508 tackles. Graduated first in his class. He did a little bit of everything. And he's doing it here today on 3rd and 9 from the 36. Kubiak got to run out of the pocket. He's got all sorts of room if he can get to the marker. He got the first down. Great job by Jim Kubiak, the junior from Buffalo, New York.
Bryant Young battling in there, a real fine pass rusher. And I'm not so sure the defensive lineman there, right center of your screen, number 97, I'm not sure they're getting the kind of traction they'd like to get normal pass rush. But see, he uses an inside move there, or inside arm move I'm talking about. They've actually grabbed him and pulled him down. But he is a consistent pass rusher, but I'm not sure you're getting the kind of traction you need out there to be a real dominating pass rusher.
That's the longest run of the year for Kubiak. who's put on 25 pounds since last year when he missed the majority of the season because of his shoulder injury. On 1st and 10 from the 47, incomplete pass. Jimmy Screen, the intended receiver, and Brian McGee was there on the coverage.
Brian did a real nice job. You know, Kubiak had a member of his family play in this stadium for a long time.
And who might that be?
Ron Jaworski. They are cousins. Kubiak and Jaworski, of course, played here for the Eagles for a number of years, are cousins. In fact, Ron came here today to watch him play.
Guy played for you a little bit, didn't he?
Just a little.
Yeah, just a little. 2nd and 10, 47-yard line. 2 minutes left to go, first half. They'll swing it to Billy James. James across the 45 to the 46-yard line. That's just about to the line of scrimmage where Greg Lane and Brian McGee make the tackle. And coming up a little bit later here on ABC Sports, some more great college football for you. Penn State and Ohio State, Nebraska and Colorado out of the Big 8, and USC and California. Check your local listings for the game in your area.
That Penn State-Ohio State game should be a dandy. Penn State really is the best team I've seen this year. I mean, Ohio State is rather, and I know Penn State is capable of playing at that level.
Big third down here, 3rd and 10 for Navy with 1:18 to go first half. Catch made! Number 80, Jimmy Screen! Touchdown! By Navy today. That's more than any Notre Dame opponent has scored this year. And they lead at 24-17. 53 yards on the touchdown pass.
They get back, you'll see the pattern form to the right side of your screen. They're back in there in a 2 deep safety. See safety sitting there. They throw it in the hole. Now the safety Burris right there doesn't make the play right there. He should make the play. Covington, the other safety, is out of position, allows him to run up underneath him, couldn't make the play. That touchdown is the result of 2 safeties not maintaining the discipline of their defense. Hell of a throw of sticking it right in the seam right there. Now safety play wrong there. Covington out of position, number 29, touchdown.
Screen had a longer catch this year of 74 yards. You know his dad in Baton Rouge.
Screen, though, was it?
No, it wasn't. But you know his dad in Baton Rouge has got to be proud. Pat played quarterback for LSU and a former mayor down there. And 2nd touchdown reception of the year for Jimmy Screen as Burris takes it on the kickoff. And look at this fired-up Navy team as they take Burris down at the 22.
See, all Notre Dame has done is feed fuel to the fire. And that the flame is burning right now. Boy, it's going to be hard to put it out.
And maybe everybody's going to have to start believing Lou Holtz when he says he's afraid of this Navy team.
Hey, I believe Lou Holtz when he told me, Dick, we're not as good a football team as we were in the past. We're not as good. We're getting better, but we're not as good. We have some weak points. And I've seen enough tape and watched him play. He's telling the truth, but people don't want to hear that.
1st and 10, 23-yard line. Just 59 seconds left to go as Beckton's got a lot of room to run. Lipsy makes the tackle at the 32, and coming up on the Prudential halftime report, John Saunders will have scores and highlights. Plus, we'll profile John Cooper, who has quieted his critics by leading Ohio State to their best start in 14 years. That's coming up on the Prudential halftime report.
Notre Dame has been very successful in the closing drive of her first half. They've scored 4 out of the 8 games in this situation.
McDougal on 1st and 10, scrambling.
Get out of bounds.
No, he can't do it. He's brought down at the 37-yard line.
He should have gotten out of bounds.
McDougal brought down over there by number 25, Marcus Starks, sophomore from Stone Mountain, Georgia. Now, Notre Dame's going to take a timeout. They've got 2 remaining now, Dick, with 24 seconds left to go in the first half.
You know, I don't know why these stadiums don't put the timeout indicators in a better spot. I can't find them now. Where are they?
If any stadium in the country you should know about, it's Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia.
I was afraid to look at the scoreboard.
You saw Miami has jumped out on top of Temple there, 21-7. As we'll keep you updated on other scores. Notre Dame's 4 touchdowns, as Dick was mentioning, just before halftime this year, have come in the last minute of the first half. So that's a dangerous time for opposing teams. They're faced with a 2nd down and 7 from the 37-yard line with 24 seconds left to go. Notre Dame has won 12 straight road games. A win today, if they can come back, would be their best streak at 13 since the 1929-31 era, the end of the Newt Rockne era at Notre Dame. But right now, they have got a game on their hands. They trail Navy by 7, 24-17. 3 wide receivers for the Fighting Irish. McDougal, penalty marker down. McDougal finally throws it. Nearly picked off.
I think he crossed the line of scrimmage when he threw it.
Chris Hart, 33, was the man there on the coverage. Adrian Gerald downfield. I think he might have get a holding call.
Well, the quarterback also crossed the line of scrimmage when he threw the football. At least I believe he did.
It looked like Becton was staying in back there, Dick, and they threw the flag right where he was.
There's 2 flags down.
Yep.
Yeah. Both against Notre Dame.
So the penalty against Notre Dame.
You see the orange marker to the left corner of your screen. See them, good holding right there. They con Becton, number 4 in the middle of your screen. Now there's the orange marker. See there, he's crossed it. He's definitely miles across. No way to get away with that one.
Forward pass. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Loss of down. 3rd down.
So the loss of down there, and that'll bring up a 3rd down and 7. So far today, Navy has not been penalized, Dick, and Notre Dame with 6 penalties on the day for 48 yards.
That is more or less characteristic of a military team anyway. And just watching practice for 2.5 hours Thursday, I saw 1 person go offside and 1 bad snap in 2.5 hours. Good discipline.
Absolutely. 3rd down and 7. 14 seconds left to go first half. They'll give it to Becton. And Becton is tackled at the 40. And the clock now will just run down. And folks, Notre Dame came into this game as 35-point favorites, and at halftime at the Vet in Philadelphia, Navy leads 24-17. We'll return with more after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
CFA College Football on ABC Sports, brought to you by the new Chevy S-Series line of trucks. So new from the inside out, everything else is history. And Hitachi. Hitachi makes over 20,000 innovative products. We'll be back with halftime activities after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Fooled you. Now see if you're any better at guessing which is the real thing and which is Hitachi Ultravision. Too tough to call? That's because of Ultravision's ultra clear, ultra sharp, and ultra bright picture.
Hit it! Okay! Ultra clear! Ultra sharp! Ultra bright! Ultra vision!
Maybe she wants my autograph.
Maybe!
Yeah! Ultravision. Only from Hitachi.
Owens Corning presents an exciting debut, Pink Plus, a new insulation that's silky to the touch. The reason? Pink Plus is our famous pink fiberglass insulation wrapped in smooth pink poly, which also makes it extra easy to install. So get in touch with a premier insulation. For the Pink Plus dealer nearest you, call 1-800-GET-PINK.
Before you buy a new car, consider the comfort. Consider the quiet. Consider the power. consider the fit and the finish. But most importantly, before you buy a new car, consider these options. The Chevy S-Series, so new from the inside out, everything else is history.
Saturday.
Party with us.
It's a Halloween bash for the entire family.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
Ashley and Mary-Kate Olsen, Meshack Taylor and Cloris Leachman in double-double toil and trouble. Then it's Paula Poundstone.
All right, come on in here. We'll fit. Come on.
And she's got her own show.
I'm a television viewer myself, and I just want to have a moment to bond with you.
Expect the unexpected on the Paula Poundstone Show, premiering Saturday after double-double toil and trouble.
Now at Circuit City, get 0% interest for 12 months on everything you want. Get 0% interest on top brand appliances. Get 0% interest on top brand video. Get 0% interest on top brand computers, audio, and more. Get 0% interest for 12 months on everything you want. Minimum purchase $299 right now at Circuit City.
Welcome to Circuit City, where service is state of the art.
In 1941, FDR lent $1 zillion to Russia. He called it Lend-Lease. We never got the money back. It was a bad lease. In 1979, Ed Smith leased a house on 3 Mile Island. It was a bad lease. Today, Volkswagen announces a great lease. $199 the new Jetta 3, $189 the new Golf 3. German engineered and drive like nothing you've ever seen. The most loved cars in the world with one of the world's great leases.
See your Chicagoland and suburban Volkswagen retailer.
A dishonorable judge sent to jail by his victims. Watch Inside Edition.
The Prudential Halftime Report is brought to you by the Prudential. When you face the most important financial decisions of your life, turn to the Prudential. Peace of mind. It comes with every piece of the rock. From New York, John Saunders.
John Saunders here with the Great Pumpkin for our Halloween edition of the Prudential Halftime Report. The Goobs and the Goblins are out there right now. Let's get rid of this one as we talk about Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish. 1963 was the last time that they lost the game to Navy, and they are down at halftime. Meanwhile, Miami is leading Temple right now, 21-7. Ryan Collins having another terrific game, his second consecutive start. 12 yards here to Jonathan Harris. They made it 21-7, but Temple does have a touchdown. Remember, Syracuse couldn't do that last week. Collins with 2 touchdown passes, and he's rushed for 1 as well. South Carolina facing Tennessee. Tennessee leading at 21-3. Charlie Garner doing a lot of damage here with a 60-yard touchdown run, just about unmolested to the end zone. Good speed to the corner, and that made it 7-0 for the Volunteers. Right now, it's 21-3. Mose Phillips has a 9-yard touchdown run. James Stewart a 1-yard touchdown run there. Georgia and Florida, 20-13, playing this one in the rain. Very nasty weather there at the Gator Bowl. You see them warming up in the sloppy weather. And Danny Werfel here, this one may have slipped in his hands a little bit. Mitch Davis steps in front of it, picks it off, goes 13 yards to set up the go-ahead touchdown as Georgia comes back. Steve Spurrier at that point seeing it slip away in the first half. Eric Zier, shovel pass here to Shannon Mitchell. 7-13 as he gets to the end zone. Georgia now leads it 20-13 in the second quarter. We'll keep you updated on that one. In the ACC, Virginia and NC State tied up 3 apiece. Steve Vidicic has a 20-yard field goal there. Michigan and Wisconsin. This one also a battle of field goals. Wisconsin has the lead. Rick Schnetsky has 2 field goals in the game. 6-0 is the score. Brent Moss, meanwhile, has over 80 yards today, and he's over 1,000 yards for this season. Larry Emery was the last guy to do that for Wisconsin to get over 1,000 yards. Some key games we'll keep an eye on later on today, including 3 of them which will be seen here on ABC. We'll have more on those games a little bit later on. Implications for the Orange Bowl as well, of course, the Rose Bowl. And another big one coming up, Arizona and UCLA. That one a big one for the Rose Bowl as well because Arizona is undefeated coming into that game. Teams that are idle this week. Louisville will play Tennessee next week on ABC. North Carolina is also idle. And as far as Louisville is concerned, they accepted this week an invitation to play in the Liberty Bowl. The reason? They could go 10-1 this year, be shut out of the Bowl coalition. Howard Schnellenberger had more to say about his reason for accepting the bid to the Liberty Bowl.
We studied long and hard to see if there was any reason why we should not commit it this time, and as we looked at the options, the possibilities, became obvious that if this football team went 10-1, there was no better place that this football team can go. And that's very disturbing, but that's the way it is.
Penn State was in a similar situation last year when they went to the Blockbuster Bowl. Let's continue now in the Southwest Conference. Texas Tech and Texas. Byron Morris with a 4-yard touchdown run, and it's 10-0. Texas Tech has the lead. Don Davis has a 19-yard field goal as well. Georgia Tech and Duke, 13-0. Tech has the lead. Dorsey Levens, a 1-yard touchdown run, and Donnie Davis, 72-yard pass to Charlie Simmons, 13-0 the lead there. Maryland and Clemson. Last year, Maryland won this game. They're down 6-0 already. Derek Witherspoon, a 1-yard touchdown run. They missed the point after. East Carolina and Virginia Tech. Dwayne Thomas, a 1-yard touchdown run is the scoring in that game. A 7-0 the lead there. Memphis State and Cincinnati. Matt Cody, 89-yard kickoff return for a touchdown for Memphis State. 10-3 is the score there. In the Mid-American Conference, Ball State and Eastern Michigan. Bristol Green, a 15-yard touchdown run there, and it's now a 13-0 lead for Eastern Michigan, having a terrific comeback after losing their first game of the year. Bowling Green and Miami of Ohio, this one in the MAC. Beal and McCullough, a 1-yard touchdown run. Miami leads at 10-0. Bowling Green, 20 straight without losing in the conference. Keep an eye on that one. Valparaiso and Dayton, 14-0 the lead. Judd Mintz, a 1 touchdown rushing and 1 receiving as well. 14-0 is the lead there. Let's check the Ivy League now, where Columbia has not won in Princeton since 1945. Right now, this one just underway in the first quarter, scoreless in the game. Penn leads Yale 7-0. Jim McGeehan with a 1-yard touchdown run in that contest. Cornell up over Brown as well, 7-0 the score there. Chad Levitt, 3-yard touchdown run. And a Harvard facing Dartmouth. 10-8 is the score. Jay Fiedler needing 3 completions to break the single-season mark as he went into that game. We'll continue with more in just a moment here on our halftime report, sponsored by Prudential. But first, let's take a look at some more scores from around the nation. As we continue, we'll take a look. Boston University on a roll. 7-7 is the score in this game, but coming in a perfect 7-0, 5-0 in the conference, and ranked number 10 in Division I AA. And coming up a little bit later on the Prudential Halftime Report, Marianne Grabavoy with Coach John Cooper of the Ohio State Buckeyes.
A pioneer in managed health care. A major resource to help fund your child's education. Peace of mind. It comes with every piece of the rock.
Enjoy college football, more than a game.
Start saving $300 a month when you're 23, and you could retire a millionaire. Start at 30, and you might reach 100,000. At 40, about 200,000. Which is why you need Prudential's Financial Assessment Program. A personalized computer analysis of where you are, where you want to go, and how we can help. Because nobody plans to fail. They just fail to plan. Call Prudential Insurance now.
Welcome back once again to New York in the Prudential Halftime Report. I'm John Saunders. We're at halftime of game number 1. 3 games of regional interest at 3:30 Eastern Time. For a preview, first, here's Mark Jones.
John, coming up later from Boulder, both Nebraska and Colorado will have oranges on their mind, because the winner of this game will definitely have a leg up on a Big 8 conference title and a berth in the Orange Bowl. Colorado has only lost 1 game in conference play since 1989, but there was a 52-7 whipping last year at the hands of Nebraska, a fact not lost on Colorado players. Now to Steve Zabriskie.
Just one of the many traditions here at the University of California campus is Tightwad Hill overlooking Memorial Stadium. In fact, some guys have already staked their claim to some good seats for the Cal-USC game we're going to have for you later today. Hey, guys, great seats, huh? What'd you have to pay for those?
Dude, it's Tightwad Hill. It's free. Go there!
I think I'll go back to the booth. Now let's go to Keith Jackson in Columbus.
For the first time in more than a decade, the shadow of this man, Woody Hayes, does not lie across the fortunes of the Ohio State football team, but firmly in the hands of this man, John Cooper. The Ohio State Buckeyes have won their first 7 ball games. If they can keep on winning right through the Rose Bowl, they got a chance to be national champions first time since '68. But today, they got to handle Penn State. Not easy. Now, John Saunders.
As Keith pointed out, when you coach in the shadow of Woody Hayes, the only thing that's acceptable is remaining undefeated. John Cooper found out, as Earl Bruce has as well. Marianne Grabavoy has the story.
Oh, what a difference a year makes. This time last year, the Ohio State faithful were calling for John Cooper's head. In fact, in the last 5 years, disgruntled fans and some of the local media have had John Cooper gone several times.
In 1990, there was a quote from you. You said, "The majority of Ohio State fans are the best in the world." As for the minority quote, "Eventually, they'll run me out. They darn near ran Woody early on, they ran Earl out, and they'll get me." Do you still believe that?
Well, yeah, I believe that very strongly. I think there are two kind of coaches. The coaches that have been fired and those that will probably get fired. If you stay in the game long enough, you're not going to please everybody. I think eventually, unfortunately, a lot of college football coaches get fired. I just hope it doesn't happen to me, but in reality, it probably will someday.
A lot of people say Buckeye fans are like no others. Critical when you win, they'll cook you when you don't. Now in his 6th season at Ohio State, John Cooper has been laboring in the long shadow of the legend of Buckeye football, Woody Hayes. But before Woody's reign, Buckeye territory was known as the graveyard of coaches, and Woody let his successor, Earl Bruce, know it.
Jokingly, he said that's really not the effigies that they hang in Columbus, Ohio. It's the real thing.
Meaning?
Meaning that the coach is the person they hang, you're not ever hung an effigy. You're really, that's how brutal they are as far as football is concerned in Columbus.
In his 9 years at Ohio State, Earl Bruce's record was 81, 26, and 1. Despite a .755 winning percentage, he was booted out in 1987, and John Cooper took over the hot seat.
Do you think the expectations here at Columbus are a lot higher than other places?
I think they are. I don't think they get any higher than they are in Columbus. And Earl also said that you have to be dead or retired to be appreciated as a football coach.
John Cooper may have silenced the Boo Birds for now, but he knows humility is always just a week away. And for the Buckeyes, the toughest part of their schedule is still ahead. Penn State, Wisconsin, and nemesis, Michigan. Some would say it's a miracle John Cooper's still at Ohio State, given that he hasn't beaten Michigan yet, gone to a Rose Bowl, or won a national championship.
If you really believe the fans will someday drive you out of Ohio State, it must be pretty sweet for you now.
Well, it is sweet, and who knows? I may outlast them. I may get out before that happens. Who knows? You're under a microscope. When you coach football at Ohio State, everybody wants to know, where you live, how big is your house, how much money you make. The best way to shut up all your critics is to win.
Joining me now is Marianne Grabavoy, and as John Cooper pointed out, if you win, everybody's happy. But as you pointed out, the toughest part of his schedule is still to come.
That's absolutely right. John Cooper told me, he said, thankfully, he's never been hung an effigy. He said, but a couple years ago, he went to a local diner in Columbus and wanted to have a quiet breakfast. Well, the guy sitting next to him at the counter said, hey, if you're looking for a house in the neighborhood, there's going to be one for sale. The head coach at Ohio State's going to get fired. And Cooper said, really? Well, he extended the guy his hand and he said, hi, I'm John Cooper, the head coach at Ohio State. Well, the guy bought Cooper breakfast, and I think at 7-0, John Cooper's bought more than a little time at Ohio State.
All right, Marianne, thank you very much. Back with more in a moment.
One of the most innovative real estate companies in America. The leader in individual life insurance. peace of mind, it comes with every piece of the rock.
A new set of academic standards will go into effect in 1995. To practice, play, or receive an athletic scholarship, freshmen will need a minimum grade point average in at least 13 core courses in high school and a minimum score on the ACT or SAT. Make it a point to talk to your coach or guidance counselor about these requirements. Prepare yourself now. It's never too early to hit the books.
This message provided by the NCAA.
The Prudential Halftime Report has been brought to you by the Prudential. When you face the most important financial decisions of your life, turn to the Prudential. Peace of mind. It comes with every piece of the rock.
Your second half is straight ahead, but first it's time now once again for the World Cup Soccer Update. A couple of teams qualified, Saudi Arabia and South Korea this week. 15 of the 24 teams have qualified, including Germany and the United States, who had automatics. Our coverage on ABC begins next June. The second half is straight ahead. Enjoy it.
Elvira here, Mistress of the Dark and sometimes Surfer Babe, because Coors Light is the official beer of Halloween and the party's at the beach. Malibu Beach, where you can hang 10. Look, Frankie and Annette. And of course, when it's time to chill, just reach for that cooler of Coors Light. Aged ice cold, never frozen stiff. It's the right beer now for Halloween. Just look for the Silver Bullet Smooth display and dig up your friends now for a party at the beach. Happy Halloween, dudes.
In Europe, things happen on time, right on schedule. Punctuality is the norm, and that makes Europe the ideal environment for UPS. Fact is, UPS has built the most comprehensive delivery network in Europe. So when you have a shipment going there that has to be on time, use the delivery company whose punctuality is a time-honored tradition. UPS, the package delivery company more companies count on.
This is hydroplaning in less than an inch of water, and they're being pulled by Goodyear all-season AquaTread radials. AquaTread's deep groove design channels water away as you drive for outstanding traction. Hydroplaning, AquaTreading. Think about it.
For this guy, any deodorant will do, but these guys need Speed Stick, antiperspirant that gives 110%. And now Speed Stick deodorant has a powerful new formula to fight odor. Speed Stick, for movers and shakers, the #1, the only one.
As expected, the shape is new and beautiful. As expected, it's quieter and has more space. As expected, there are dual airbags and anti-lock brakes. As expected, the automotive world once again revolves around one car. The new Accord EX from Honda. As expected.
Welcome back to the Vet in Philadelphia, and once every 30 years something great happens for Navy. Their first win against Notre Dame in 1933, their last win in 1963, and folks, what about 1993? Navy leads Notre Dame 24-17 at halftime. As we welcome you back along with Dick Vermeil, I'm Roger Twyvell. Dick, an off week for Notre Dame next week, and then the big game against Florida State. Any thought in Notre Dame's mind about looking past Navy to get ready for Florida State?
Roger, I was on campus all day on Tuesday from 9:30 in the morning till 6 in the evening. No talk about Florida State. Good concentration and preparation. Give credit to Navy right now. They're just playing a little bit better than Notre Dame, but the game isn't over.
Tied at 17 late in the first half, and the big play, the pass play from Kubiak to screen.
The two safeties got fouled up in trying to cover this deep square in pattern. You'll see from the right-hand side of your screen. Now you'll see the safety Burris, number 9, come up and try to make the play on it. He doesn't make the play. He had underneath help. Now Covington, number 29, out of position to make the play. Roger, I really believe the defensive backs are having a hard time with their footing in playing pass defense against this pass offense.
And first half statistics, you take a look at the plays. Notre Dame with the advantage there in the first downs. Total yards, though, Dick, just about the same.
Just even, and Notre Dame dominating in time of possession, meaning that Navy has gotten a couple big plays, and that's why they're there. You can look for Notre Dame to do everything possible to prevent those big plays.
Let's go down to Jackaroo. Jack?
Well, Roger, in the Fighting Irish locker room, it was all fire and brimstone from head coach Lou Holtz. He reminded his players that this game was just as important as any other game, and that they were being outplayed. Conversely, with the Midshipmen, it was very, very quiet when they first went in. Then Coach George Shump gathered everybody together, and he said, gentlemen, remember two things. Be humble and play the second half hungry.
Thanks, Jack. And Jack, get a hat. Stay dry. It is pouring as Tate will kick it off. And the low kick bobbled there and finally picked up by Clint Johnson. Johnson, who averages 46 yards on 7 returns and has taken one back 100 yards for a touchdown this year. Got it across the 35 to the 37-yard line.
I think you can look for Lou Holtz to come out and take advantage of his gifted players. They're bigger, stronger, and nobody does any better job of taking advantage of the kind of players that he has in front of him to work with. They'll pound on him, run off tackle, run the option occasionally. Maybe not as many options because of the wet weather.
We start the second half from Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. 1st and 10, 37-yard line. Beckton, the second man through, and he is all wrapped up. Shane Halloran and Andy Person there to stop him for little or no gain.
Andy Person came down from the backside. He wanted to cut back, and they couldn't do it. They're changing the defensive fronts. Now, that was a front. They actually had a strong safety lined up on the tight end. They have a lot of people up playing run defense.
Dick Navy's doing this defensively without one of their top players, Dave Shaw, who's out with a knee injury. They miss him, but so far today, they have rose to the occasion. On 2nd and 10, no gain on that last play. The play action by McDougal. Throwing near side, the catch made there by Lake Dawson. Dawson makes the catch at the 44-yard line. Chris Hart on the coverage, and Lake Dawson from Federal Way, Washington's got to feel right at home in this weather outside of Seattle where he grew up.
Repeating what I said in the first half, Raj, Skip Holtz, who coordinates the offense for his dad at Notre Dame, said they run so well. When they throw the ball, they try to go downfield with the ball. So they get large chunks of yards out of their passing game.
19 yards on that pickup. 1st and 10, 44-yard line.
Moving that defensive front around.
McDougal eludes one tackler. Now he'll throw it. And he's got Dawson. The tackle's missed. Touchdown. Touchdown reception for Lake Dawson this year, as Joe Speed had a shot at him at about the 13-yard line, and he was able to elude it and get into the end zone. Pendergast, the point after, and it's good.
Roger, the reason he was open over there, they were in a double zone, a 2 deep. They had a receiver. Notre Dame had a receiver right down the seam, holding that safety from getting over there.
We're tied at 24.
The interior of the new Honda Accord creates an open environment. It's roomy and comfortable and available in fine leather. The reinforced body is insulated to be quieter than ever. When you consider everything the new Accord has to offer, it becomes an open and shut case. The new Accord EX from Honda.
At Compaq, we realized that buying a computer raises a lot of questions. So we came up with the answer, Compaq Presario. Powerful computers that come preloaded with software that can correct your spelling or balance your checkbook. In fact, the Compaq Presario can even answer your computing questions. Oh, and if you happen to have a phone, it can answer that too.
Hi, we can't answer the computer right now. Please leave a message.
The new Presario from Compaq.
And now for some thin, different. New Domino's Thin Crust Pizza. A crispy, crunchy crust pizza. It's a whole nother taste in a whole nother way. All right. Put that snap back in your life and always get something for nothing when you call Domino's.
Imagine a cold tablet that keeps symptoms from coming back 24 hours. New Effadac 24.
Sudafed lasts 6 hours, Tavis D12. But one Effadac gives consistent relief 24 hours.
Effadac keeps cold symptoms from coming back.
The Penn State Nittany Lions invade Ohio State in a key Big Ten battle. Plus other regional action in Game 2 of a college football doubleheader next on ABC.
Welcome back. First possession of the second half for Notre Dame, and they've tied it up at 24. Just the third career touchdown reception for Lake Dawson. But it didn't take him long. Pendergast to kick it off for Notre Dame. Billy James and Jimmy Screen back deep. That's Billy James at the 7. James to the 32-yard line. Lyron Cobbins came down to make the tackle.
You'll see big Aaron Taylor, number 75, on the top of your screen, gets beat underneath by Person, see, and forces McDougal to scramble. He gets outside now. They're in a two-deep zone downfield. The man down the hole held to safety. Good movement by the quarterback. Good sprint out action. Gets your shoulders squared around. Throws a strike to Lake Dawson to the right side of your screen right there. Joe Speed, number 13, not using good safety technique, overruns a play, touchdown.
First and 10, 33-yard line for Navy as Kubiak tries to go underneath. The ball still floating around. Kubiak grabbed it. That was still a live ball. It was deflected back and then hit one of the Navy offensive linemen in the head, and Kubiak came up with it. Bryant Young was the man that got the hand up to deflect it.
He also has good hands.
Yeah.
He's looking at his play calling card. Now watch this. You don't see this very often. This is the first time I've seen it this year. Good pass sets by the offensive line. Hamilton coming around the outside. The ball's batted in the air, bounces off his guard's helmet. He looks up for it, picks it under. Now he's a ball carrier.
So that would be a completion from Kubiak to Kubiak. Loss of 3, second and 13. Straight drop back. Kubiak going out to the far side. Damon Dixon might have gained about 2. Brian McGee was there on the tackle.
See, Rick Minard, the defensive coordinator for Notre Dame, tightening up his coverages now when people run those short routes. A defender sitting right there closer to the receiver as he reads the coverage. Good adjustment made at halftime. Tighten up those short zones.
Last year, when Kubiak was hurt, as you look at the scoreboard, they went to an option running attack with Van Meter at quarterback, and Navy was 96th in the nation in passing. This year, they're 15th in the country as Kubiak faces a 3rd and 10 from the 33. They'll swing it to Van Meter, and that's the second time he's dropped a ball in the flat and open with a chance to pick up some yardage, and they had the screen set up nicely that time.
All 3 offensive linemen were out there in good rhythm, good timing. Kick-out blocker, lead blocker, peel back blocker, just waiting for him to catch a football. Normally when you drop that ball, Raj, it's because you take your eye off it and want to become a runner first.
That's the 4th drop by a Navy receiver today as punting situation, and Schrum, who had one blocked earlier, will send it down. Good bounce right there, and it'll go out of bounds. They'll mark it at the 27-yard line.
This is a very important defensive series right now for Navy. They came up with a great defensive series against Notre Dame when Notre Dame blocked the punt. I think right now is a very, very critical time in this football game if they want to keep it even.
I think you're absolutely right, Dick, because Notre Dame came out with no time to score on that first offensive possession. And in the first half, Navy was only shut down once offensively. Notre Dame has not led in this game. We're tied at 24, 12:01 to go, third quarter. First and 10, 27-yard line. Handoff up the middle, and that's Mark Edwards, the freshman fullback. Andy Person, 57, made the tackle.
They ran an inside trap, and what happens when you shift the defense around like Navy is doing, your trap angles, your trap assignments, your blocking assignments change more so in a trap than in zone blocking. Now watch the defensive people moving around now. See them, they've got their run blocking all cold. Now they move the defense around, and believe me, that changes things.
2nd and 7. Kinder.
You won't catch him. You won't catch
Randy
him.
Kinder.
You won't catch him.
Touchdown. 70 yards.
Roger, the reason I said you won't catch him, he's 2-time state sprint champion in East Lansing, Michigan, 200-meter champion as a junior and senior. He gets that kind of room, you aren't going to catch him.
6'1", 205 freshman from East Lansing, and Notre Dame has scored on their first 2 possessions of the second half. Pendergast, extra points, good.
Here's Kinder again. They toss him the ball back there deep. Get a good cross block at the point of attack. Good block inside by the fullback. Now it is 200-meter speed. That's why he's a state champion. He can outrun you.
Genuine draft. For those who've discovered its smooth draft taste, the world is a very cool place.
Why haven't you called home?
Mom, you remember when I told you that my friend was sick? Mom?
The rotor of your phone got stuck because it got a lot of rust around the motor.
I think I have amnesia. Why haven't you called?
Moms always know when you're lying.
One excuse you don't have anymore is price.
Well, Mom's going to love this.
Introducing 1-800-OPERATOR from AT&T. There's no lower price for a collect call. Just spell it out. 1-800-OPERATOR. Remember, if it's not 1-800-OPERATOR, it's not AT&T.
I love you, Mom.
The interior of the Honda Civic was developed with a sunblock to help protect the fabric from fading and cracking over the life of the car. So while you may have a limit on your time in the sun, the Civic doesn't. See you tomorrow.
Last week against Southern Cal, on the second play of the game, Lee Becton got the handoff and just outran everybody to the end zone. 70 yards on the touchdown. He carried 20 times for 177 yards, and his backup today, Kinder, just took 170 yards on his first carry of this day.
You know, if that was a rainy day on that last week, we might have thought it was the same play.
Well, they have struck fast. The Fighting Irish of Notre Dame, their first scoring drive, 1:19 seconds. The second, 31 seconds. As Pendergast will kick it off.
Good kickoff.
And Billy James will take it at the 2. And James brings it out to the 32-yard line, where Navy will take over. Ronaldo Wynn on the tackle for the Notre Dame special teams, as George Choff's got to get his team settled down right now. And
again, you're giving up that long run like that. That can really sap you, too, both offensively and defensively. They did a good job of cross-blocking and knocking people off the ball. Great block by Krplevich on that play. Then the speed in between the safeties.
Not bad on your first carry of the day.
No.
First and 10, 32-yard line, as Kubiak is checked off at the line of scrimmage. And they'll give it to Van Meter. Jason Van Meter up to the 38-yard line. And let's go to Jackaroo. Jack.
Roger, those 2 quick strikes by the Fighting Irish have changed the emotion here on the Navy sidelines. They aren't quite as up as they would be before. In fact, some of the seniors have tried to gather people together and rally and get more pumped up. And with the rain coming down and it being cold and seeing those 2 quick strikes, that's a little harder to get pumped up. In fact, some players are now just sitting on the bench.
Thanks, Jack. 8-yard pickup that time for Jason Van Meter, the senior from Pensacola, Florida. 2nd and 2. Kubiak, going downfield. The intended receiver was Jimmy Screen, and a lot of pressure that time on Kubiak by Jim Flanagan.
Jim Flanagan got a great inside rush that time on Zach McNeacon at the defensive tackle spot. Real good rush. I was talking to him, and I was mentioning him. I said, gee, 6'2", 270. He said, Coach, tell everybody I'm 6'4". So, ladies and gentlemen, Flanagan 6'5".
You know, Dick, the interesting thing is the Navy offensive line actually outweighs the Notre Dame defensive line. There's more size up there when you look at Lane at 301, Sokol about 275, McNeacon 286.
That's the way it should be, though. You want those defensive linemen quicker.
3rd down and 2. Little play action. Kubiak's got to get rid of it in a hurry. Nearly intercepted. Nearly picked off over there by John Covington.
Excellent safety play that time. Plus, when you roll in an action and pull the quarterback that way, that pulls the safety in the direction of the throw. That's how he got a good jump on the football. But it was still an excellent play by John Covington. You know, Covington is one of 20 children. Can you imagine sitting around the dinner table with 20 guys, 20 people to feed?
Got to have quick hands.
Well, yeah, you're working on it. Where you're going right now, it's Clyde, you know.
Brian Schrum, the punter. Nice punt there, as Miller will take it at the 18. Miller still on his feet. Miller finally tripped out, and a penalty marker down as Miller goes out of bounds at the 37-yard line. Mark Love was the man that ran him out of bounds, but a penalty marker down.
Lou Holtz does a great job in his kicking game. You know, and since he's been at Notre Dame, they've returned 9 punts for touchdowns. They returned 11 kickoffs for touchdowns. That's really tough to do. Granted, he has skilled athletes, but they work on it.
Once again, another penalty. That's the 7th of the day on Notre Dame. CFA College Football on ABC Sports, brought to you by American Honda, who has been making quality cars in America for the past 10 years. And Coors Light, aged ice cold for that pure taste of the Rockies. Reach for the silver bullet, the right beer now. Roger Twabell, Dick Vermeil, Jack Arute down on the sidelines at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. Notre Dame with 2 quick scores here, Dick, to start the second half. They lead Navy 31-24 now.
I'm sort of proud of Jack Arute down there, aren't you? He's confident.
I'll tell you, that's why he did the Iditarod all those years up in the last.
His hairline is receding, though.
Well,
I don't notice that in dry weather.
I've told him to put a hat on several occasions. He just won't listen to me.
Roger, I may have a receding hairline, but remember, real men don't need umbrellas.
Okay, all right, Jack. First and 10, 18-yard line for Notre Dame. They've scored on their first 2 possessions of the second half. Kevin McDougal, the senior from Pompano Beach, Florida. He didn't start last week. The start here, and Kinder makes a miss, and he gets about 3. 2 guys had a shot of him at the back in the backfield, Dick, and he was able to elude both tacklers.
Tim Ruddy is an awfully good center. Coach Holt says he may be the best one he's ever had at Notre Dame, and they've had some guys playing in the NFL from that position. Number 61 in the middle of your screen. Academic All-American, 4.0 student last spring. Look at him let the stunt go. Then he picks up. Look at him working on that guy. He gets a little help that time from old Mark. No, that was Will Lyle that helped him out.
Second down and 5, 9:36 to go, third quarter. Kinder escapes once again, close to the first down as he gets across the 25 to the 27. Shane Halloran over on the tackle.
You know, you have mentioned Shane Halloran's name a number of times today. He's really playing an outstanding football game.
Halloran's a junior from Middletown, Rhode Island. A number of these Navy football players, before they actually get to the academy, go to the Naval Academy Prep School up in Newport, Rhode Island. All of those players have qualified most every way for the Naval Academy, but they might have a weakness in math or chemistry or something, so they spend a year up there, an extra year of high school, so to speak, before they come down to Annapolis. Of course, they don't redshirt players there, and the first down, Kinder to the 29-yard line. Now, the size of Notre Dame's offensive line with Taylor at 299, Zadoveski at 295, Ruddy 286, Lyell at 260, and Norman at 297. Really starting to work on Pearson, who weighs 234, and Rennick at 245, Stowers 236. So that size starting to pay off in the second half.
Yeah, it does. Plus, Notre Dame hasn't been out in the lead, so they haven't been able to substitute and put up back linemen. So they have those big guys in there all 3 quarters.
First and 10, 29-yard line.
See him jump that defense. They got a lot of people up there to run against.
And too much time.
He might have been trying to audible after the switch of the defense. See, they call that a stack defense, where they put a defensive lineman over the tight end and move everybody to him and back the safety up right behind that position there at the tight end. They got a lot of guys to run against.
That's the 8th penalty today against Notre Dame. Navy has not had a penalty. Notre Dame 8 penalties, 63 yards. And you know what a stickler for perfection Lou Holtz is.
Well, all you have to do is watch him on the practice field to know he coaches every minute of the practice field. He's on somebody every snap.
First down and 15 from the 24. McDougal drops. The intended receiver, Mike Miller, had it right in his hands, and he dropped it.
See, they're playing that double zone, and if you can get that slot receiver in that seam in that double zone and get that ball there, you're going to get the completed pass. That should have been a completed pass.
Well, tomorrow night, a brand new Columbo mystery on the ABC Sunday Night Movie. Faye Dunaway stars with Peter Falk, and it's All in the Game. That's tomorrow night starting at 9, 8 Central Time on ABC.
I love that guy. He's my idol, Peter Falk.
He'd be perfect here today with it.
He's really something.
A frumpy raincoat.
I copied his trench coat today.
Yours is a little more pressed than his, as Kinder, the ball carrier, stumbles and comes up short of the first down. Back at the 28-yard line, well short, as it looked for a moment like he might break through on that second down in about 15.
You know,
one man to get by, and he had clear sailing.
That Kinder was the USA Today Player of the Year for the whole state that year. Scored 34 touchdowns, so it's not surprising to be able to see that he could take one for 70 yards in this stadium today.
Third down and 11. Now this is a big third down play for the Navy defense here. If they can hold and get the ball back, trailing by a touchdown. 7:39 to go, third quarter. McDougal. Pass caught. It's going to be very close to the first down. Joe Speed on the coverage of Mike Miller. And let's see where they put the spot. They're going to spot it right at the 40. That'll be enough for the first down.
Excellent job of Miller working beyond the chain and catching the ball. Yes, he got knocked back, but he caught the ball beyond the chain. Excellent job of concentration by Mike Miller. Now, he's a little peanut at 5'7", 157 pounds. But watch him come underneath the double zone. See, now they're going to press him inside. Now there's a safety helping him. See, he got to the first down, got the ball right there on that line, moved the chain.
Miller from the same high school as Buffalo Bills running back Thurman Thomas, Willow Ridge High in Sugar Land, Texas. And look at Edwards, the big man, inside the 35 to the 33-yard line, where Joe Speed needed to use it to pull down this 6'2", 220-pound freshman.
Instead of taking him on physically with man blocking that time, they pulled the offensive right guard. They blocked down with the tight end. Now watch the tight end to your right. He will block down, as will the tackle. And Lyell, number 74, will pull, and he kicks out. Now the defender opened up that was Grover's, opened that way. Favors opened that hole way too much. He's got to constrict that, but it is a good design.
Edwards was a terrific blocker coming out of high school, and they've made him even a better runner, as the ball carrier, number 31, Robert Farmer, busts inside the 25 down to the 23-yard line. That'll be close to another first down. Farmer's a freshman from Bolingbrook, Illinois.
Will Lyell, the offensive right guard, have started today. A sophomore out of Brandon, Mississippi, is the third starter they've had at that position. Watch number 74, the right offensive guard, pull through. See, they got a block right there. Now watch him block that linebacker. Excellent job, and he's the third guy that's played that position this year.
2nd and 1 from the 24-yard line. Edwards, the first man through, has got the first down just inside the 20 to the 19-yard line. Shane Halloran once again comes in to make the tackle.
See, now I think Dennis Murphy, the defensive coordinator right now, has got to say, hey, they're pounding us. Let's bring an 8-man blitz. Just come after. If they do run the option and pitch it, I think because of the weather, they're more concerned about pitching the option. But if they're trying to run the ball parallel or anything like that, we've got 8 guys coming. Maybe we can throw them for a loss.
Notre Dame's got a 15-game winning streak. During that streak, they've got 43 rushing touchdowns. And they've outrushed their opponents by 187 yards a game, and they're showing you right now what they do best as Edwards takes it inside the 15 to the 13-yard line.
One reason they do it best, yes, they have good football players, Raj, but Joe Moore, their offensive line coach, does as good a job of coaching offensive linemen as anybody in the country, and he gets after them. He believes in coaching toughness.
That's Stacy Yop, 95, who's down on the turf at the 17-yard line.
He's out of Wiresdale, Florida. A senior.
He's their biggest defensive lineman at 6'1" and 275. And they're looking at his right knee. He wears a brace on that right knee. Rain starting to come down harder down here at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. This is a home game.
Doesn't rain in Philadelphia.
No.
Doesn't rain in Philadelphia.
It was beautiful yesterday.
Yeah.
It's a home game for the United States Naval Academy.
Boy, they can't afford to lose these guys, because see, he's got some size to him at 275 pounds. They have a hard time backing him up with another 275 pounder.
Well, next Saturday on ABC Sports, it's college football regional action. Many of you will see a key Big Ten battle as the Buckeyes of Ohio State take on Wisconsin, Louisville, and Tennessee.
I'll be there.
One of the games, and then other regional action.
You know, Wisconsin right now, and the last time it flashed across there was leading Michigan, too.
Well, enjoy yourself in Knoxville.
Oh, hey, Tennessee, great place to go for football because they love football.
I'll suffer over in Maui.
Yeah.
Someone
has to do it, though. Yeah. Someone has to do it. I realize that. Plus, you don't like golf, though, do you? You don't like golf.
Not at all. David Stowers has checked in. You see Wisconsin leading Michigan 13-3 at halftime. So David Stowers, a senior from Jacksonville, Florida, has checked into the game as we've got a timeout down on the field. 5:37 to go, third quarter, and the Irish lead the Navy by a touchdown.
Honey, we're leaving in 10 minutes.
While virtual reality isn't quite here yet, the car is. The new Accord from Honda.
What kind of company would be responsive enough to make consumer loans in as little as 24 hours? Or develop low-cost life insurance for people over 15? Or make quick enough decisions to take advantage of changing times? At Transamerica, we may have a strong financial base, but we're very lean at the top.
People care about the world these days. They just don't want me to put another toxic antifreeze in their car. I mean, who needs toxic? So what if it protects to 70 below? Any antifreeze can do that. Tell me that it's different, safer. Tell me nothing protects better, and it's biodegradable. I mean, what if their dog gets into it? Or their kids? This is serious. It's a changing world. Poison's out.
New Sierra. It's not just antifreeze, it's safety freeze.
Well, folks, that is a bundle of nervous energy right there, Lou Holtz. And you can see in the second half total yards, 210 for the Irish, just 8 for Navy. Second down and 3, 13-yard line. Edwards, first man through. Close to the first down at the 10-yard line. 61,813. Number of tickets sold here at Veterans Stadium today.
Some of them stayed home. George Chomp, the head football coach right there. What a nice guy to visit with. Very soft-spoken guy, head coach, doing a good job. This is his best football team. He's got the program going in the right way. He says you can't keep these kids out of the weight room. You know, everybody at the Naval Academy has to take 3 hours of sport every day, regardless if you're on an athletic team or not. So in the off season, these kids really apply a lot of the time, of that kind of time, in the weight room.
Well, they're coming off consecutive 1-10 seasons. That's their worst stretch in 4 decades, and got off to a 4-2 start. Lost to Louisville last week, 4-3. They get an off week after this game, and then finish up with Vanderbilt, SMU, and of course the game against Army, which will be seen here on ABC Sports. Chomp took Marshall to the Division I AA Finals in 1986. As setting the football.
That's Coach Mike Drake, coaches the defensive backs, that sends in the signals right there. Needs a flag man. Ought to use a Navy corpsman here. One of those flag guys. What do you call those guys that give all those
signalmen?
Signalmen.
I think. Third and just inches. Edwards and Farmer, the running backs.
2 freshmen, true freshmen.
And McDougal will sneak it. Gets behind his center, Tim Ruddy. And that'll be the first down. And the report on Stacy Yop, he is going to miss the rest of this game because of the sprained knee. So that's their 2 top defensive down linemen, David Shaw, who injured his knee last week against Louisville, and then Yop, who now has gone out with a knee injury.
Fortunately, they have a bye this next week, don't they?
Right.
They have a bye. Both schools have a bye this week.
Exactly.
Yeah.
First and goal, 9-yard line. That's Farmer, number 31 to the outside. Touchdown. 14 different players have scored touchdowns for the Fighting Irish this year. That's the third touchdown for Robert Farmer.
At the top of your screen, Oscar McBride, number 80. You'll see him, the tight end. He's blocking now on a defensive back. See number 48. That's Grover Favors, 5'10", 190 against 6'5", 255. You lose that battle 10 times out of 10.
Pendergast, the point after, and it's good. And 3 possessions, 3 touchdowns in the second half. And let's go to New York and John Saunders.
Roger, Florida and Georgia, just about a minute to go in the half. Terry Dean in for Danny Werfel, who was ineffective. 35 yards to Harrison Houston for the touchdown. 23-20 was the score at halftime. That's where they stand now. Roger.
Thank you, John. Well, we've got a fast-moving game here at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. 4:51 left to go, third quarter. And Notre Dame has taken the lead 38-24.
That's why I keep saying, you know, people like to criticize Lou Holtz because he's at Notre Dame, you know, and they get good football players. And like he told me the other day, he's so used to being criticized that, you know, it just sort of just bounces off his back like water, you know, off a duck. But you can criticize him, you just can't beat him. That's all.
And he seems to be at his best, Dick. You know, situations like against Michigan earlier this year, a lot of controversy about the book that came out, and it just seems the more pressure, the more that, you know, maybe Notre Dame might be the underdog, the more that seems to suit Lou Holtz. And of course, Polis, the young quarterback who they thought was going to be their starter, McDougal gets the nod. He went in and had a great game against Michigan. So it just seems like the more you know, adversity that Lou Holtz faces, and he doesn't have to face too much at Notre Dame, but the better the coach he is, as Pendergast to kick it off.
The ball fell off the tee. Pendergast, the kicker, he was born out here in Lansdale, Pennsylvania, right off the Northeast Extension. Had a chance to visit with him the other day. He is the team comedian. He, you know, he can imitate people and all that kind of stuff, and he makes the squad laugh. And Coach Holtz really likes this young man.
And you've always had a great fondness for kickers, so I'm sure you enjoy talking to him.
Speak for yourself there.
Good kick there. Billy James will take it at the goal line. And James to the 27-yard line, where Navy will take it and try to get something going.
Ronaldo Wynn again. That's twice he's made the play. He was slated to start at defensive left end, and they didn't start him. They started instead John Tolliver. But Ronaldo Wynn is just a true freshman. He's really doing a great job covering kickoffs. Important now to get some kind of drive going. Get that, you know, get the chains moving, eat up some clock, and get it down.
1st and 10, 27-yard line. Navy's already scored more points on Notre Dame than anyone else has this year. 4:45 to go, third quarter. Little play action by Kubiak. He's got his receiver, Matt Skornavaki. And the stick there by Greg Lane.
Matt's out of Reading, Pennsylvania, here not too far out of where we're standing right now.
We talked to him the other day at Annapolis, and we were saying that, now, Matt, give us the correct pronunciation on your name, because we've heard it about 5 different ways. And Skornavaki. Gain of 6, 2nd down and 4. Hand off inside, Billy James. Not much going there as they tried to run a little counter.
They tried to get the cutback going there, and Justin Goheen, the inside linebacker, read that and scraped off properly as well. Now, Justin Goheen is another person that actually started his high school career as an athlete here in the area at Bishop Kendrick High School over there in Norristown, Pennsylvania, then moved to Wexford, Pennsylvania, and played at Allegheny High School. Geez, how would you like to be a high school coach and have a player like that transfer to your school? Huh?
3rd down and 5 at the 32. 4 wide receivers for Navy. Overthrown. Van Meter, the intended receiver. Excuse me, make that Damon Dixon. Number 9, the intended receiver, across the middle.
See, Jimmy Kubiak going back to throw that. He couldn't get set up. He actually had to jump up in the air and throw that ball under that pressure. Hard to throw the ball accurately in that situation.
Well, Schrum, after having his first punt blocked, has gotten off kicks of 40 and 43 yards. He'll kick it from inside the 20.
Do you think some of those cheesesteaks that Notre Dame...
Oh, they got him. No flag. Yeah, now a flag goes down. as Miller's tackled at the 35. That was a late flag. I want to tell you, the official behind the punter didn't do anything, and it took one of the up officials to come back and throw the flag.
Now it's determined whether it's running into, which is a 5-yard penalty and not an automatic first down, or is it roughing the kicker, which is 15 and a first down.
Well, it's 4th and 5.
Well, yeah, but it's not quite 5. Look, well, it's. Let's see what they call.
Looked like Lyron Cobbins, 65, was the man in there to make contact.
Here's Brian Schrum. It's a low snap. That slowed him down, slowed the rhythm.
Lyron's a freshman from Wyandotte High School in Kansas City, Kansas. There the flag comes.
They called it roughing.
Yes, they did.
They called it roughing. Anytime you knock him down like that and get that lead leg, the kicking leg, they're going to call. You don't think?
Look at Schrum.
Hey, this sounds like Philadelphia. It's not the Eagles playing out there, ladies and gentlemen. Drive me say.
You should see the smile on his face as he was getting up and looking over to the sideline. So another penalty against Notre Dame. That's their 9th of the day, and that gives Navy their first down of the second half. 1st and 10, 47-yard line. 3:15 left to go, third quarter. Kubiak will throw it to Van Meter, who hadn't turned yet, and he had 2 defenders right on him. Justin Goheen, 54, was the man in front. At halftime, your former quarterback, Jaworski, says, what do you think of my cousin? Well, he had a pretty good first half. Now he's 15 of 27, couple touchdown passes. He had, coming into this year, of course, he had some injuries, Dick, the last couple of years, but he had started 6 games, had thrown 13 interceptions and just 2 touchdown passes. And with the 2 TD passes today, down 9 TDs and 11 interceptions this year.
Well, Greg Reiner, the quarterback coach, has really done a good job of bringing him along, and he has another year of eligibility.
On 2nd and 10, coming near side, Screen makes the catch. And he gets to the 45-yard line, and we'll send you to New York and John Saunders. John?
Roger, Wisconsin and Michigan still with their eyes on the Rose Bowl. Wisconsin with just 1 loss. Terrell Fletcher, 12-yard run here, 13-3. They now take the lead. Roger, back to you.
Well, Wisconsin leading Michigan at halftime. Wisconsin finishes up their season against Michigan State in Tokyo. The first weekend of December, and the Big Ten title could be decided then.
I bet you're disappointed they scheduled that one.
Kubiak's got a new school record, 8 games with over 200 yards passing. He's got 208 today. Trying to throw it to Jefferson, and it's overthrown on a 3rd and 1.
That's really not what they wanted to do. I think they were bringing the man in motion over there to let him get into the flat, but there was penetration in the defense and stopped the short receiver from ever getting there, Roger.
On a 4th and 1,
you might as well go for it. Sure.
Of Notre Dame with 2:46 to go in the third quarter and trailing by 14. They'll go for it. 5 times they went for it last week against Louisville on 4th down, converted 2.
You see, the thing is, in this style of offense, you know they're going to throw the football. They treat 3rd and 6 inches as 3rd and 3 and better. They don't really think about running the football.
4th down and 1. Kubiak going down to Dixon on the sideline. He makes the catch. Damon Dixon at the 24-yard line.
Great call. Anticipating man-to-man coverage. That's a gutsy call. They weren't thinking first down. They said, heck with it. We're down by 14. We'll go for the touchdown.
21
nice
yards
on
the reception.
You'll see it to the right side of your screen here now. It gets set up there, and he lays it up. Now, he just lays it up over the top. So he ran a little out-and-up move on his defender. Threw it up there high. Good job. He ran that route on Sean Wooden, number 22. Damon Dixon, 5'8", 171.
First start this year against Virginia. Caught 10 passes to tie a school record. Now 1st and 10 from the 24. The pass dropped right in the hands at the 20-yard line of number 80, Jimmy Screen. And that's been a half dozen balls that have been dropped today by Navy receivers. Pete Bursich, number 47, the senior from Mokina, Illinois, was there on the coverage.
Boy, he's a piece of work. He's got that black head, square jaw, good student, intense. You watch him in the practice, you'd think they're playing Florida State on practice field, you know.
Born to be a linebacker?
Born to be a linebacker.
2nd and 10, 24-yard line. Kubiak had checked off at the line of scrimmage. They'll give it to Van Meter. inside the 20 to the 18-yard line, where John Covington, the senior from Winter Haven, Florida, makes the tackle.
See, change up. They get them spread out. Now, see, Rick Minna, the defensive coordinator, has been playing 5 defensive backs in there against this kind of formation. You could probably even play more, but if you do, then you take Goheen and Pete Bursich out of there, and they're too good of football players to take them out.
Notre Dame has scored 21 unanswered points.
That's Rick Minna right there, Raj.
Yep, the defensive coordinator.
Does a real good job.
3rd down and 4. 1:37 left to go, 3rd quarter. There you see the passing yards. Navy, 229. Kubiak, the Van Meter, not enough for the first down. He's dropped at the 17, Justin Goheen.
Pretty good pass protection at that time. Rod, you mentioned Max Lane's name a couple times, the big offensive right tackle for Navy. 6'6", 305 pounds. You'll see him in the right-hand corner of your screen, doing a good job of pass protecting on Thomas Knight, number 7. And I said he actually is an NFL prospect, but he has
his Navy
6 years
commitment,
of Navy commitment.
Ryan Buccineri to attempt the field goal of 34 yards. Tony Soliday will hold it. And Buccineri, the plebe, getting his first real action of the year, had come into this game, had kicked 1 extra point against Colgate, gets the field goal to 34 yards.
You know, Coach Chomp told me that Buccineri, when he came to school, had a real strong leg, but then they go to the Naval Academy training school and prep and all that for 6 weeks. He said by the time he got out of that, he lost all his strength. He lost 10 pounds, lost all his strength.
He only weighs 142, and he had lost 15 pounds, and he said he just started to get his leg strength back. And from Monongahela, Pennsylvania, Ryan Buccineri with the field goal, and with 48 seconds left to go, 3rd quarter, the Notre Dame lead is now 11, 38-27. In 1990, Notre Dame beat Navy 52-31. So far today, Navy with 27 points, as Matt Tate will kick it off. And once again, that low sliding kick that's bobbled at the 20, finally picked up by Jeff Burris. That's been very effective so far for Navy today.
It really has been.
Well, right now, let's send you to New York and John Saunders. John?
Roger, Temple in Miami, 3rd and 10 at the 49. Ryan Collins back to pass, out of the pocket, and then he sees daylight. Picks up a couple of nice blocks, one right there, and that gets him to the end zone for the touchdown. Frank Costa has now come in. He's the backup now. Started the season as the starter. 28-7. Back to you.
Thanks, John. Well, Frank Costa, of course, is from right here in Philadelphia, so he's getting back in the game for the Hurricanes as Notre Dame has it 1st and 10 on the 20. 41 seconds to go. 3rd quarter. Swing it out, and you see the sliding attempt made to catch the football. Mark Edwards had not caught a pass this year and had a chance to make his first reception. That area right there,
that
where he
insert,
was sliding,
though,
that's the pitcher's mound.
Yeah, plus, see, that AstroTurf is not there all the time, so it's not worn out, so it's a different grain, and when you hit that, the footing changes.
How's this turf, Dick, now compared to when you coached the Eagles here?
It's better now than it used to be. When I first came here, you might as well play in the sidewalk.
Let's go down to Jackaroo. Jack?
Well, we'll talk to him about it after this play. We'll explain to you why that pitcher mound is so slippery, guys.
Okay, 2nd down and 10. 20-yard line. McDougal checks off at the line of scrimmage. Kinder. 1st down, Notre Dame out to the 33-yard line. And let's go back to Jack.
Well, Roger, in the infield area, you can see where the raised areas are, where the dirt is, and especially the pitcher's mound area. What they did when they rebuilt this facility and put the rug in is they put a big concrete drainage area around those areas, especially for baseball. So the water has a tendency to collect there and nowhere else on the field. That's why you see the big puddles in the infield.
Okay, thanks, Jack.
Hey, Jack, speaking of rugs, maybe you ought to think about one.
Oh, that's a cold shot on 1st and 10. Kinder. Goodness, Dick, all he has done is come in this football game and pick up 10.
Well, they're really not.
I want to know if you, hey, Arut, okay, let's get, Jack, you've got your equal time here. Come on.
Well,
now.
Coach Vermeil, I know it's your birthday now. How old are you? Did you see the first series here back in 1927?
I bought the tickets to go to that game, yes.
Yeah, well, somebody told me that you're that old. You're older than dirt, they said.
Yeah. We'll be back with more of a root in Vermeil as we return to Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia after this message and a word from our ABC stations. We've completed 3 quarters.
Presenting the RCA 52-inch projection screen home theater. It's bigger and brighter than almost anything out there.
The interior of the Honda Civic was developed with a sunblock to help protect the fabric from fading and cracking over the life of the car. So while you may have a limit on your time in the sun, the Civic doesn't. See you tomorrow.
Things are really heating up for John Kelly.
I'm going to see you tonight.
I don't know if tonight's going to be good.
Last night was pretty good.
NYPD Blue, Tuesday. Viewer discretion advised.
In Chicago, you look up and say, there's the Big Dipper and United Airlines. You see the moon and United. Every time you look up, there's United. With 1,000 flights in and out, more than any other airline. More United flights than stars? Some nights, yes. Come fly Chicago's hometown airline. Come fly the friendly skies.
This is the Ford Taurus, America's #1 selling car for the 2nd year in a row. And for a very limited time, it's got 2.9% financing direct from Ford. That's right, every Taurus sedan, wagon, and high-performance SHO comes with low 2.9 financing for 48 months. You get standard V6 power, standard 4-speed automatic, standard dual airbags, and more. But hurry, this is America's best-selling car in this 2.9 financing and soon. Quality breeds success. See it at your local Ford dealer today.
Halloween. The terror begins late night tonight.
Welcome back to Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, whereas we've completed 3 quarters of football. Notre Dame leading Navy 38-27 after they outscored the Midshipmen 21-3 in the 3rd quarter. I'm Roger Twaddle, along with the dueling Jack Arute and Dick Vermeil. 1st and 10, 47-yard line. Notre Dame's freshman running back, Mark Edwards, to the 35-yard line. Joe Speed finally makes the tackle. 18 yards on the pickup.
But Notre Dame really took off in that 3rd quarter statistically.
4 straight games for Notre Dame. Over 300 yards rushing the football. 539 against Pitt. They had 535 against BYU, 305 against USC, and they've got 318 yards today. 1st and 10, 35-yard line. Once again, the big fullback, 9 yards that time.
Here come those stats. I'm anxious to see him myself. Look at that. 300 yards rushing, 170, 470. Time in possession, remember at half they were down by 7. No, up by 7. Now, line, look at that. No turnovers in the field conditions like this. That's remarkable. Look at the number of plays.
Navy hasn't committed a penalty today. 2nd down and 2. Once again, the big fullback Edwards, 1st down inside the 20. Dick, what can Navy do, if anything at all, now to stop this power running game?
Not much, really, because they're getting blocked, and no matter how many people they put up, they still get knocked off. And he's mixing in a play-action pass and throwing it downfield. Boy, it is really tough. But what you'd normally do is think, heck, we're going to gamble with one thing. If you're going to gamble with one thing, you gamble stopping the run against Notre Dame and keep coming with an 8-man front or an 8-man front and then blitz and bring people. And they've been doing that, but still getting blocked.
1st and 10, 19-yard line. Edwards and Farmer, the running backs. That's Farmer. Outside. At the 3-yard line, Joe Speed drags him out of bounds.
Again, another freshman, a true freshman. And you see that acceleration. He was up inside. He saw he had a bounce to the outside, and he had the speed to go ahead and get that done. Now, you see the offensive line controls the right side of the line of scrimmage, knocking people back off the ball. He gets up in there clean. Now, watch him accelerate to the sideline, then upfield. That takes speed.
First and goal, 3-yard line. Full house backfield. Touchdown, Burris. Jeff Burris, the defensive back / running back, his 3rd touchdown of the year.
He's the first defensive back I've seen this year score a touchdown as a running back. How do you like that? Little counter action there to freeze the inside backer, hands it off. Good little hole up in there, good blocking right there out in front of him. Touchdown. Boy, that offensive line is really, really good. I think it's every bit as good as Ohio State's offensive line.
Pendergast for the point after. Low snap, kicks up and good. 13-27. Left to go in the football game. Notre Dame leads Navy 45-27, and George Chomp, well, waving their arms. This isn't the Air Force, this is the Navy.
More from an aftershave than that same old alcohol burn. You gotta try a brand new aftershave. New sensitive from Old Spice. It's alcohol free because alcohol burns. That's why they took it out and put these new cooling sensates in for real refreshment to go with that great scent. It's proof aftershave doesn't have to hurt to work. So use new sensitive or you might get burned. Take the heat out of aftershave. Demand proof. Try new alcohol free sensitive from Old Spice.
There are lots of reasons to buy life insurance. Here are 2 great ones. I'm State Farm Agent Mike Foley. As the Goff family has grown, so have their life insurance needs. That's why we get together for family insurance checkups. I make sure to explain all the options, then they decide on the plan that's right for them. Ask your State Farm agent for a family insurance checkup. It's a great way to learn about life.
Player of the Year honors and the PGA's richest prize are up for grabs when golf's top players tee off in the final round of the Tour Championship. Live tomorrow on ABC.
Well, Notre Dame's had 4 possessions this half. They've scored 4 touchdowns, and they lead at 45-27 over a Navy team that led them at halftime. 24-17.
What do you think he said at halftime?
I think he said, folks, we have an off week next week, and we're going to practice and practice and practice unless you guys get this thing squared away. In the rain and cold here in Philadelphia, Pendergast with the low kick. And just slowly and surely, you see the slip there at the 31-yard line by Lionel Hines. And let's go to New York and John Saunders.
Florida and Georgia, this is 3rd down in the 20th play of this drive for the Gators. Eric Rett goes over the top from 1 yard out. They now lead by 10, 30-20. Keep you updated. Roger, back to you.
Thanks a lot, John. Eric Rett's a terrific all-around.
Good all-around back. I've seen him play, Roger. He catches the ball well out of the backfield. Tough runner, good blocker.
We had him last year on the Florida-Georgia game.
Right.
1st and 10 for Navy, 32-yard line, 13-19 left to go. They trail it 45-27. They'll swing it out in the flat. What a hit on Billy James. James gets right up. But what a stick over there by Bobby Taylor. That's the second big hit he's had today.
Oh, yeah, and he's a gifted athlete. You know, his dad was a silver medalist in the 1972 Olympic Games and also a gold medal winner in the 400-meter relay. He inherited this kind of talent.
Just listen.
That'll loosen the Phillies.
He was rolling up in a double zone. He was going right up to where he had to be.
Loss of 1, 2nd and 11. Kubiak throwing to Dixon underneath. And Dixon able to get it up to the 38-yard line. Gain of about 7 on the play. Brian McGee was there to make the stop.
Boy, this offense is so drastically different than last year's Navy offense. And, you know, granted, now they have a healthy quarterback. Kubiak, as you mentioned, could not play last year at the end of the year. They're running a lot of options. But Greg Briner has come in and taken over the offense. The first time that Coach Chomp has had an offensive coordinator, and he's done an excellent job.
Well, Dick, last year they only scored 16 touchdowns. Coming into this game, they'd scored 18 already this year. They put 27 points on the board here today. 3rd down and 4. 38-yard line. 12 minutes left to go in the game, and Kubiak trying to go downfield. Beautiful catch. Boy, Damon Dixon's done a super job today as he makes the catch at the 47-yard line.
That's when it is an advantage to be 5'8". You don't have far to go to get down there and pick that ball up off the turf. Excellent job by a young receiver battling it in there. Orinda, California, Miramonte High School. I know where that is.
16 yards on the pickup, and Kubiak got the ball right where he needed to get it.
Right.
Low. 1st and 10, 46-yard line.
It looks like they're going to blitz. Yeah, here they come.
Van Meter gets maybe a yard.
See, Notre Dame has been using a lot of 2 deep coverage, 2 deep zone, and then playing zone underneath it. And when you going to blitz, you can't line up like that. You've got to get those safeties up in a position to cover somebody one-on-one, so it's a dead giveaway. That's why I could see that, Roger.
Well, Jim Kelly's led the Buffalo Bills to 3 Super Bowls, and they've never won it all. This season has been sweet revenge. They've beaten the Cowboys, they've beaten the Giants, and they hope to continue their sweep for Super Bowl opponents when they take on the Redskins Monday night at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific time. That's ABC's Monday Night Football. Navy 2nd and 9. Kubiak in trouble. He's able to elude 2 men and will slide out at the 39-yard line. He didn't want to go any further because Justin Goheen had him in sight and ready to make the hit.
And so was Oliver Gibson coming over there, and he's 6'3", 275, and when he hits you, he really puts you down. Justin Goheen. He, too, a very good student. He, very good student.
Well, you usually have to be a good student. Notre Dame and, of course, at the Naval Academy. 3rd down and 3. It's all 4-down territory now for Navy as screen comes in motion. And the delay to Van Meter trying to cut it up. And Van Meter gets to maybe the 38-yard line, going to be a couple yards short. And let's hurry up and go to New York and John Saunders. John.
Roger, #1 Florida State has a date with the Irish in a couple of weeks. Today facing Wake Forest. Jim Kemp intercepted by Clifton Abraham, and he dances to the end zone. His 3rd touchdown of the year, 17-0 Seminole. Roger.
Thanks, John.
It's an advantage for Notre Dame to be playing against this kind of a passing attack today because Florida State does a lot of the same things, a lot more shotgun. Of course, they have a lot more speed.
4th down and 2 at the 38. Good fake by Kubiak. He was being hauled. There's no flag thrown, but I'll tell you what, number 80, Jimmy Screen, was all tied up with Sean Wooden over there and never had a chance to get to the football.
Yeah, he's
no
complaining.
flags.
He's complaining about it right now. It looked like Sean Wooden might have had a hold of him. He's from Willow Grove, Pennsylvania. Abington High School right out here, played in the Big 33 All-Star game, which is really, really a big game. Originally, it was the best 33 players in Pennsylvania against the best 33 in Maryland. Now it's the best 33 in Pennsylvania against the best 33 in Ohio.
Kubiak could have run if he wanted to. He had some space that time.
He should have won. Yeah. He should have, especially with that down and distance situation.
Timeout on the field, 10:02 left to go. Notre Dame leads Navy 45-27.
You know, if life were perfect, women wouldn't talk during the bottom of the night.
Yeah, and magazines would never smell like perfume.
No. See, if life were perfect, potato chips would cure hair loss. Dogs would walk themselves. And algebra, it would actually come in handy.
Well, hey, at least there's Amstel Light. It's only 95 calories.
Yeah, but it still has that real imported taste.
Nothing's missing. Amstel Light is a great beer.
Look, if life were perfect, you'd buy the next round.
All right, I'm buying.
You got a camera?
my life is, the better. I don't need more stuff. I need good stuff. I sure don't need a car that costs as much as my parents' house. I think my car should be an ostentatious display of common sense.
I'm Jack Arute on the sidelines with the Navy Men's Glee Club with a very special present to Coach Dick Vermeil. Gentlemen,
happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Dick. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, Dick. Lytle, the ball carrier on first down, and he gets to the 45 of Navy.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah, that's the big man right there. Dean Lytle, a senior from Bremer, North Carolina. Happy birthday, Dick. Number
57.
57. Well, many, many more.
Hope to. You guys got me on that one.
hey, Dick.
Hey, you got me.
Hey, Jack.
I still like you.
Okay. That's all right. I'll get even next week.
First and 10, 46-yard line. Notre Dame just pounding the football right now, but they're
nice
stopped
play.
right
right there. Kinder is nailed by Andy Anderson, number 57.
Really a nice play from the Havertown, Pennsylvania athlete. Really a nice job. He's made a lot of good plays today.
Notre Dame ranks second in the nation coming into this game in the AP top 10. See Florida State's winning. Ohio State later today on ABC. Miami winning. Alabama's later. Nebraska later here on ABC. Arizona, a big game tonight against UCLA. Tennessee is winning. Auburn later. What a job Terry Bowden has done up there.
Yes, sir. He had some good athletes.
Oh, absolutely.
He didn't have to build the program.
Second and 11, 47-yard line. Inside handoff comes to Robert Farmer, and he breaks 2 tackles, and Farmer knocked out at the 30-yard line.
You think they have some athletes that can play? Huh?
Well,
I think I'd volunteer to be the running back coach for the next 3 years. They got 2 freshmen out here today dominating the ball.
They got Edwards a freshman, Kinder a freshman, Farmer a freshman.
Yeah. That's what you're supposed to do at Notre Dame. You're supposed to recruit good football players, and Lou does a great job of it. Good selection of athletes, and then he does a good job of disciplining them and educating them and coaching them.
8:55 left to go in this game. First and 10 from the 30.
They're coming after him now.
Yeah. Once again, that's Farmer. Stephen Lipsy, the senior anchor back from Savannah, Georgia, who's there to make the tackle. Look at Lipsy. 27 career tackles for losses.
But there have been defenses when he's been lined up as a strong side linebacker on a tight end when they go into when they're over shifts, and he's 5'10", 185 pounds. I tell you, as soon as they find out when you're doing that, you're in trouble.
Second and 7. Farmer's got it again, and he's got room inside the 20. Pulls his way all the way down inside the 5 to the 4-yard line. 6'1", 215, freshman from Bolingbrook, Illinois.
When you can run a toss like that to your tight end side of your formation, it starts first off with your tight end, McBride, doing a good job on the bottom of your screen. Your big tackle, Aaron Taylor, has to do a good job of hooking. See, now watch Lytle, the fullback, get a knockdown right there, number 7. Now you turn it up field like that, and you give it to the talented running back, and he makes the rest on his own.
First and goal. Call it the 4-yard line. Lytle, the senior, is hit right at the 3. Shane Halloran was the man there to make the tackle. Lytle, 6'3", 240. They say he is one of the fastest players on the Notre Dame football team. He runs out of the 3rd string spot at fullback. Ray Zeller's the starter. Did not play today because of an injury. They want to rest him up off week next week, getting ready for Florida State. That game to be played in South Bend. I can hear the grass growing there on that field. I think they're going to try to neutralize that Florida State screen. It's the job done there by Mark Edwards as he leans forward trying to get the ball across the goal line. They're going to call it just short. Edwards looking for his 3rd touchdown of the day.
You know, the other thing in getting to play a team like Navy that's not physically as strong, and it really demonstrated here in the second half, is it allows your offensive team to really execute plays as they're drawn on the blackboard. And it helps you really develop a rhythm and a confidence in what you're doing, because the defense doesn't break your execution.
Third down and goal, 1 yard line. Touchdown, Notre Dame, and yes, Edwards hits his third. That's 8 touchdowns on the season for the freshman running back.
He'd only carried the ball 25 times coming into the ballgame.
It's a pretty good ratio, the carries and touchdowns, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, he's going to get it down on the goal line. He's 6'2", 220, protects the ball awfully well, runs hard. Pendergast to attempt the point after.
Pendergast has a great.
No good.
No, he missed it. I shouldn't have started talking about it. He has a great imitation of Ross Perot that really controls the squad. He can really get him laughing with that imitation.
51-27, Notre Dame leads Navy.
Lasers. Satellites. Cellular data networks. What exactly have we launched here? UPS Total Track. The only tracking system that can confirm delivery of your air and designated ground packages coast to coast in seconds.
Package was signed for at 9:26 this morning by Mr.
The arms race may be over, but the package race is just heating up.
My life isn't about throwing money around. It's about hanging on to it. It's not about owning a $40,000 car. It's about owning a good car. It's not how much something costs that matters to me. It's how well it works. Look, don't tell me what I want. Show me you've got what I need.
Things haven't been that great with Steve and me for a while, so it's not a total surprise. Believe me, it's still a little scary being on your own now. You really need to start thinking about money. And I haven't begun to think about that. When I went through this, I sat down with a broker over at P & Weber. He looked at what I had, and we came up with a plan that basically just let me get on with my life. And how did he know what you needed? Fortunately for me, he asked.
Well, George Chopp's team with a valiant effort in the first half. This is the 113th year of football at Navy. Only Michigan 110 years and Rutgers 124 have played the game longer. Dick, when we were at Annapolis the other day watching these kids practice and getting ready for this game, knowing they had insurmountable odds to overcome. I mean, you just have to be so impressed with the way they played for 2.5 quarters there.
Oh, I am, and I'm not surprised, because we anticipated it, because they really believed they could come here and compete, and they proved they could. They just couldn't do it for 4 quarters.
Billy James takes it across the 25 to the 27-yard line. Great tradition with this rivalry, as I mentioned at the top, the longest intersectional rivalry among college teams. You know, the last time Navy won in 1963, Rear Admiral Thomas Lynch, who's the current superintendent of the Naval Academy, was the center and captain on that team, and his brother Jim Lynch then played at Notre Dame 3 years later.
And Staubach was taking the snaps from center. These kids, you know, yes, they're going to lose a football game today, but they are winners. I'll tell you, their heart really pumps.
First and 10, 27-yard line, 6:43 left to go. Kubiak to throw the football, and the interception, the pick by Bobby Taylor. Touchdown. Fourth interception of the year for Taylor off the deflection.
See, that's just too bad, you know. That he really didn't intercept the ball; it just went to him, and he had it be rolled up there in the zone, playing the outside short 1 quarter, sitting there. See the linebacker there in the slot. Justin O'Heen backs off there, run a little delayed sprint out. Now he off his hands right into the rolled up corner. Here he is right there, going to run in for a touchdown. He can trot that one in like he does.
31 yards on the return for the TD. Pendergast with the kick, and during the Lou Holtz era, the Irish defense has returned 11 interceptions for touchdowns.
You know, last year in the National Football League was remarkable. Every 11th interception was returned for a touchdown. Normally it's about 1 in 16, but last year they just really did it.
They've now picked off 25 passes in the last 21 games, including today. And let's go to Jackaroo.
Well, Roger Bobby Taylor may have some speed in his blood. You know, his father, Robert, was a silver medalist in the 1972 Olympic 100 meters, and he also was on the gold medal team in the 400-meter relay. So he knows how to kick up his heels.
And you've got some wet in your blood today, Jackaroo. Kubiak's had 3 touchdown interceptions on him this year, and look at the holds there. 11 kickoff returns for TDs, 10 pass interceptions. Returns now 11, and 9 punt returns for touchdowns.
Like I said earlier, a combination of good coaching, but you're coaching the right guys.
That's right. 58-27. And taken by an upback for Navy. That's number 23, Steve Bellick, a junior fullback from Johnstown, Pennsylvania, another Pennsylvania kid.
A lot of good students in Pennsylvania.
And Navy will take it at the 49. And coming up next on ABC Sports, it's regional conference action in Game 2 of our doubleheader. Some of you will see Penn State and Ohio State out of the Big Ten, Nebraska and Colorado at Boulder in the Big 8. Then from the Pac-10, it's USC and California. Check your local listings, and also check those games available on pay-per-view in your area. On 1st and 10 from the 47. Kubiak overthrows Jefferson, his intended receiver at the 35-yard line.
You know, the only time in the ball game today that they tried to go deep, I mean, actually send a guy deep straight for the end zone, they got it. They haven't tried it since. They probably ought to think a little bit more about that, because they throw so much short stuff to stretch him just a little bit once in a while with somebody really going deep.
There's the score by quarters. Notre Dame with 41 second-half points. On 2nd down and 10. Van Meter. Not much going in the running game as Van Meter gets a couple. No, they're such a controlled passing team. Van Meter, their leading receiver coming into this game with 40 receptions.
Right, but see, when you're spread out all over and you have no tight end in there, it is really tough to block a front like Notre Dame's. And they came into the ball game only giving up 83 yards a game rushing. So, and now you're a team that's not a real good running team anyway. It is tough to make some yards.
3rd down and 8. Less than 6 minutes to go. Dixon, the intended receiver, pass overthrown once again. And that'll bring up a 4th down and 8 for the United States Naval Academy. And this is what's coming up for Navy. They've got an off week, and then the 13th at Vanderbilt, the 20th at home against SMU, and then December 4th, a game on ABC against Army from the Meadowlands in East Rutherford, New Jersey. So with the loss today, they'll go to 4-4, but a chance to finish at 7-4. As Schrum hits a rather short punt, but he gets a bounce inside the 25, and they'll just let it roll to the 23-yard line. Timeout on the field, 5:28 left to go, and Notre Dame leads Navy 58-27.
What else would you expect from the country that invented rock and roll?
Teenagers are 3 times more likely to die driving at night than during the day.
Kid? With me, kid? Excuse me, with me,
Talk to your teenager about serious driving issues.
kid?
Before before someone else has to do the talking.
Someone call her parents.
Brute. Men are back.
This is a Goodyear AquaTread, and this is a gallon of water. AquaTread's deep groove design channels water away. At highway speeds, it moves a gallon of water every second for outstanding wet traction. AquaTread, only from Goodyear.
CFA College Football on ABC Sports has been brought to you by Chevrolet, who invite you to see the all-new Chevy cars for 1994. The 25th anniversary diamond for a brilliant celebration of your loving marriage. New Old Spice Sensitive. It's alcohol-free to take the heat out of aftershave. And UPS, the package delivery company more companies count on. Along with Dick Vermeil, Jack Arud, Roger Twibel, Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. 1st and 10 for Notre Dame from the 23-yard line, and the pitch back to Kinder. And he's going to be dropped for loss of about 5. Paul Fela has checked into the game at quarterback for Notre Dame.
He played the whole game last week against UFC and did an excellent job. They didn't throw the ball a lot, just 13 times, but he completed most of them and did an excellent job.
Fela's a junior from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. In this game, Notre Dame, 10 possessions, 7 touchdowns, a field goal, and a punt. And there's big Aaron Taylor, who's getting the rest today. As the clock runs, 2nd down and 15. Fela avoids one tackle, but he'll be run out of bounds at the 15-yard line by Grover Favors. And to check on what's happening in the Big Ten, let's head to New York and John Saunders. John?
Roger, Michigan trying to fight back against Wisconsin. Todd Collins goes 7 yards to Derek Alexander, who makes the catch in the back of the end zone. Wisconsin still leading, though, 13-10. In the SEC, Florida has another field goal. Their lead is 10 once again, 33-23. Roger, back to you.
Thanks, John. You know, Georgia's had such a tough time the last 3 years trying to beat Florida with Shane Matthews, that outstanding quarterback. And once again, Florida getting the best of Georgia. On 3rd down and 18. Fela's going to throw the football. He's got plenty of time, and it's going to be well short. The pass to Robert Farmer, that's his first reception of the year, as Javier Zuloaga and Shane Halloran were there to make the tackle. Zuloaga came into the game with 85 tackles. Senior from Indianapolis. That's Mark Zadoveski, junior from Roslyn, Pennsylvania.
He shocked me, though, yesterday when I said, you know, Naval Academy, he says he doesn't like ships. I said, what are you doing in the Naval Academy?
Well, they can go in the Marines. I mean, that's what a lot of the guys will choose. Adrian Gerald, just his second punt. The first one went just 21 yards.
He just took over the punting duties. He was a good punter in high school, averaged over 42 yards, but he only had one punt coming into this game.
Dixon, the fair catch at the 40 after the 36-yard punt by Gerald, who's been banged up this year. Made just his second start of the year today. You know, Navy is one of 12 schools, Dick, to have at least 2 Heisman Trophy winners. Staubach, of course, in '63, and Joe Bellino in 1960. Of course, Notre Dame's had 7 through the years.
From looking at these young running backs, they might have another in the next few.
You bet. Charlie Ward still your leader for Heisman Trophy winner this year?
I don't think it's close.
1st and 10, 41-yard line. 3:53 to go. And in at quarterback now for Navy, Tony Soliday, a junior from Mission Viejo, California. And stay tuned for the Thrifty Car Rental post-game report featuring scores and highlights from across the country. That's coming up at the conclusion of our game. So Soliday, 5'11", 190-pounder.
Capistrano Valley High School. Playing on a CIF championship football team. You know, when you can win the CIF down there in the large schools, you've got a heck of a football team.
2nd and 6, 45-yard line. Handoff to Cleavon Smith, and Smith trying to work his way forward. He does get past the 45 to the 47-yard line. Well, Navy's 4 wins this year against teams with a combined 9-18-2 record. The two ranked teams, as I mentioned earlier, they played Virginia and Louisville, shut them out by a combined 62-0 mark. But against the second-ranked Fighting Irish of Notre Dame, Dick, they have shown awfully well today. Gave them a real scare, you know, leading at halftime. Well,
they were inspired. I think that those Navy parachutists that came stunt shooting down here with three guys hooked together and everything, and it fired up the crowd, and I think it also helped to add to the performance of their football team.
3rd down and 3. Drops. Intended receiver Monty Williams.
It went right through his hands and hit him in the chest and then ricocheted off. They say Monty Williams is going to be a good running back, just a sophomore out of Oklahoma City, and they think he's going to be their starter next year and be a real good one.
Well, the rain has been coming down throughout this game. The temperature has been dropping throughout this game. The conditions favored Navy in the first half because the defensive backs, Dick, and Notre Dame really having a hard time with the wetness of the artificial turf. As you take a look at the field there.
It also hurt Notre Dame in that they eliminated their option game, and they really like to run their option.
Well, while we've got a moment, let's check in with some other shows on ABC.
Sunday, Monster Bash weekend concludes with special Halloween episodes from America's Funniest Hour. First, you're in for a scream on America's Funniest Videos, then an all-new Funniest People. America's Funniest Videos and an all-new Funniest People Sunday.
Sunday.
I bet you were a cute kid.
I'm still a cute kid.
When super smart kids take over Metropolis,
We've got the town wired.
will the young Einsteins figure out who Superman really is?
How come you're not wearing your suit, Superman?
Lois and Clark, Sunday.
Roger Twibell, Dick Vermeil, Jack Arute back with you at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. Notre Dame leading Navy 58-27, 2:21 left to go on a 4th down. George Chomp, the head coach last summer, had a serious blood infection, was in the hospital for a week.
So they put the defense back on there now rather than the punt return team.
As Navy will go ahead and go for it. They couldn't keep George in the hospital. Finally, they got him home, laid him up, brought him a lot of game film so he could lay around and keep working. Solid A to throw it. Catch made. Skornavaki, Matt Skornavaki, the sophomore from Reading, Pennsylvania. Excellent. And that's a 1st down for Navy.
See,
never give up the ship. No. They're still going for it.
Hey, you know something? That's a slogan that they live and die with. They really believe in that. That's just not something to be made fun of. That is what they're all about.
So Tony Soliday getting some work at quarterback. 1st and 10, 45-yard line. Soliday trying to set up the screen, and that was smelled out right there.
Paul Grassmanis read that all the way. Big 93. He just came in the football game. Sophomore out of Jenison, Michigan. He read that all the way. See, a lineman can tell when the offensive lineman in front of him is really not trying to pass protect him and wants him to come upfield and releasing him the screen. He just sort of reads that, feels that, and then follows him on the screen. And that's exactly what Grassmanis did that time.
He's a sophomore from Jemison, Michigan.
Indiana ahead of Michigan State.
2nd and 16, 49-yard line. 1:20 left to go. Catch made there by Cleavon Smith. You know, Dick, I'm surprised that Kevin Hickman has not caught a ball today. Came into this game with 28 receptions, and they really took him out of the Navy scheme of things.
He dropped one.
Yeah.
And he had a couple knocked out of his hands in those crossing patterns by those linebackers. And Coach Jump, there's two fine football coaches that actually grew up together, coaching football on the same staff. A lot of respect for each other.
Under Woody Hayes at Ohio State. 3rd down and 11 from the 46-yard line. Soliday trying to get it in there to Damon.
Navy has a number of their second-string offensive players.
That was Greg Emery right there.
in there now, giving other kids a chance to play, so they say they played against Notre Dame.
The executive producer of ABC Sports is Jack O'Hara. The coordinating producer of ABC's College Football, Bob Goodrich. Today's game was produced by Kim Belton, directed by Bill Webb. The technical director, Joey Chavio. The associate producer for College Football, Jim Ressler. The associate director, Russell Brooks. The production manager, Robbie Weiss. And we want to thank our statistician, George Hill, spotter, Joe Sullivan, and all the crew on 4th down and 11. Pass broken up. And also production manager, Peg Wimberly. So thanks to all of those folks for their effort today. As the ball will go over to Notre Dame with 29 seconds left. And the Fighting Irish will have a week
to prepare.
I was going to say not to rest. They'll have a week to work and then the week to get ready for
Well, I'll tell you
Florida
what, I really believe what Coach Holtz will do. He'll spend part of this next week working on fundamentals, improving his individual players as he gradually implements his game plan. But he's a believer in fundamentals, and he's a believer in toughness, and he'll coach toughness this week.
Ball carrier for Notre Dame, number 35, Richard Roll.
Well, he must be a player that doesn't get to play very often, because all the Notre Dame players on the sideline were all excited about him carrying the ball.
Well, last play of the game, if they can do it, they will. Right up the middle, and the cannons go off, and Notre Dame came back with a big second half. They outscored Navy 41-3 in the second half, and they come away with the victory. 58-27.
Coach Holtz looking for Coach Chomp. There they are.
Well, the Chevrolet most valuable players are the game. Tim Ruddy, the center for Notre Dame. They get a great job blocking. And Shane Halloran, the linebacker for Navy. Chevrolet will donate $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund to reward outstanding students for their academic achievements and to assist those in financial need. Jack Arute, Dick Vermeil, happy birthday. I'm Roger Schwabel. Thanks for being with us. More college football upcoming here on ABC. So long, everybody.
A promotional fee has been paid to ABC Sports by United Airlines. Come enjoy United's renowned international service, non-stop to London's Heathrow from 6 U.S. cities. Come fly the friendly skies.
Trick or treat!